Good morning and welcome to the late breakfast. It's quarter-final weekend and England face Italy tomorrow, Spain versus France later today. England made it, and I'm joined this morning by Gordon Watson, Nigel Seeley and Mina Rzouki. Good morning, folks.
Morning.
And exciting. Who would have thought at the start of the tournament England would be playing Italy in the quarter-final, Flash?
Yeah, I certainly didn't. I mean, I didn't think Italy would get that far, to be honest. To be fair, I didn't
It's okay,
think...
we feel the same way about the English.
Well, no, I actually did say that I didn't think England would get this far neither. I thought that we might struggle out the groups, but we've done great and looking forward to it tomorrow. Massive. Barbecue will be out.
Is that where you're going to watch it, with the barbecue?
Yeah, with a barbecue. Just me and the barbecue, just having a chat. What do you reckon? Put the sausage on.
Don't do it indoors.
No?
No, people have...
Well, what happens if it's raining?
Well, just use the
Probably
use your
going to
grill.
be raining.
You can have indoor barbecues?
Do what your mum does. Put it in the grill and then bring it out on the barbecue at the end to present, you know, a grilled barbecue.
There's more chance of Nelson getting her eye back than my mum cooking.
This is too much talk on cooking.
You've just got to be careful of those portable barbecues, the disposable ones, because people think you can use them indoors.
Yes.
And someone recently died from carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah, I heard that.
So just be careful, yeah.
This is why I don't cook.
Yeah, well, just use the grill. I mean, it's your house comes with one, presumably.
Too complicated.
It'll be fine. Now, Mina,
Do you know what a grill is? Do you though? Do you know what a grill?
Yes.
Like grill? George
I don't
Formby.
go to the kitchen like a woman should do.
Formby.
Singing grill.
George Foreman, even I know that one.
Now, Mina, you're an Italian. You were convinced when we spoke last week.
Convinced.
Well, you were. You thought it was going to be a 2-2 draw to prevent.
It's the scandalous aspect of my personality that thought that would happen.
In the end, that didn't happen, of course.
No.
Were you disappointed?
That it didn't happen?
Well, yeah, because I mean, you got the prediction wrong.
Oh, it's okay. I'd rather have the prediction wrong and have my country still playing football. But no, I wasn't like. It's not that I was convinced that a 2-2 happened, but because it's happened to us before, and there's a knack for history repeating itself, and you just think, well, it kind of makes sense if they did do it, you know, but not that they would ever jeopardize their sporting history to you know, try to knock Italy out of the competition. So there was faith somewhere in there, but of course Perry Groves sucked that away from me when I was talking to him. And I started to get angry, and I was like, this is going to happen, they're going to do this, because I felt like, you know. Yeah. I don't know.
I think there's more chance of it happening if it was Italy playing Croatia rather than Spain going through. I think there's maybe more of a chance of it happening.
What are you trying to insinuate?
Well,
that we're
recent press is going on. No, I just think there's more chance of it
happening.
happening.
I'm going to stand up for Italy here and say that, you know what, what's better about Italy than other countries is we investigate our scandals, because I highly doubt that
we don't have scandals, that's why.
Yeah, I'm sure. Look, I'm not saying that the English football Premier League does.
Do you think there's any truth behind the Italian scandals?
Of course there is, yeah.
Oh, definitely.
But I'm not saying, I don't think that every other European team, or sorry, league is completely clean, and it's just the Italians who are going mad, you know, cheating.
So there would have been more chance of it happening if Italy were involved, definitely.
I'm just saying to you, like, if you
like
watch,
4-6,
like there are so many dodgy things that happen, and I don't know how much you follow other leagues, yeah, but there've been a lot of things last season where we were like, what's going on there, you know? But Italians go through all of it and try to clean the sport. So you know what? Props to them, and we win a World Cup every time it happens. So.
Well, Italy is certainly a more successful sporting nation in recent years than England are. So in terms of that, there are clear benefits to being an Italian rather than being an Englishman. But Nigel, you were out at the tournament for a while. The last time we spoke, you were being terrorised by a feral Ukrainian cat.
I miss that cat. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I do miss it. I'm allergic to them, and the trouble was my eyes started going. But I've got over my allergy, and we formed a little bit of a bond. So the first 2 days,
tamed it?
Yeah, I tamed it. The allergy was quite good. You know, I'm thinking of now sort of going to work for the RSPCA and the cat reel, so look after them. I've got a bomb for the cats now. But I don't really. The thing is, it was just vicious though, Matt. It was like every time you moved, it was just blocking you in the room. It was like it was nice as pie when the owner was there. You know, like cuddly. As soon as he went out, he just turned into this vicious. Oh, it was very scary. I didn't have any problems with the locals. Nothing. You know, the only thing I ran into was this vicious cat. But,
maybe it was a racist cat.
Well, actually, he could have been the only one we found out there. Xenophobe, definitely.
And at least we investigate our cats in England.
Yeah.
Very few incidents of racist cats in this country, and that's something that I've always been proud of. You were out there when and there was the local amenities. I mean, how were they? Were they up to standard? Did you have much to do with yourself?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Donetsk is a nice city. I mean, the first couple of days we went there, when you got there, landing at 12 o'clock at night, you were going into a cross between Moss Side and Basra. I mean, the area was terrible. There was like people hanging around. But during the day, it was all right. But it was a weird. It was like going into a council estate version of the TARDIS. You know, it was like from the outside, you looked absolutely desperate. When you got in, it was this vast, huge place. It was like ridiculous. But outside looking in, it wasn't the greatest of place. But inside the place was nice. lots to do in the city, and the people were just fantastic. The only problem was the cat, but the cat. At least the cat got me out of trouble by giving me a few winners on the predictions. I couldn't predict some of the results he did, but all in all, it was a great place, really. I mean, there are no problems. I mean, all this stuff. And this is going to go down in history, I think, as one of the best championships they ever had. The football's been great. The stadiums have been superb.
The stadiums are stunning.
I mean, the Donetsk Stadium, the view, it's like the Emirates, but it's very much closer to the pitch from the Emirates. But it was the facilities around it, and I think it will go down in history as one of the best tournaments. And everyone had all the doubts about it going into it, but it was been great.
Well, in honour of England's opponents this weekend, of course, Italy. I'll ask the sofa. What do you think is Italy's greatest contribution to the world? Mina, being an Italian yourself, it's only fair that you go first. What do you think Italy's greatest contribution to the world is?
Food.
Any dish specifically? Spag bowl?
Possibly, yes, I would say that one.
Heinz's tinned macaroni cheese.
Macaroni and cheese is not Italian. That's just an American version of an Italian dish.
Oh, okay. So what about tinned spaghetti hoops?
Alpha hoops.
Alpha spaghetti. Tinned ravioli.
That's how I learnt to spell. You know, like when you used to put it on your toast and you used to get all the letters out.
Well, I wasn't allowed. It made me hyperactive.
Mine was just full of A's. A's and E's. You couldn't really spell many things with A's and E's and mine was. You had a good one. Mine was A's, E's and D's.
He's playing word count with his one.
You couldn't really spell much. You probably spelled Ed, E-D.
Yeah, no, I just woof it anyway.
Flash, what do you think Italy's greatest contribution to the world is?
Yeah, how did you know I was going to say that? Yeah, fashion, I was going to say.
Okay.
Yeah,
are you wearing any Italian styles today?
Probably without knowing it, to be honest. Maurizio Bonessa, is he Italian?
Don't know.
No.
Does this look like a traditional Italian man, Mina? Is this the sort of sophistication you would see in the streets of Italy?
You'd be surprised that the people on the street aren't always that well dressed.
No, so she's saying I'm, better dressed.
Even better dressed than the average Italian?
No, that's not what I said.
Yes, it is,
No,
Mina. I know what you mean.
No, oh God.
We have to fill in the gaps with Mina. She says one thing, but you have to just take your own interpretation.
How does
And he
Flash,
spins it to a nice positive way.
how does Flash compare to the average Italian male?
Well, the average Italian male. You're pretty much the same. You kind of got the same way with women, don't you?
The bulldozer approach.
Beat them to submission.
I'm joking.
Verbally.
Verbally beat them into submission.
Oh, I'm kidding.
Let's just have that.
It's just a very different thing. It depends. You've got everything, you know. You've got your wheeler dealers. You've got, the guy who tries to romance you. But they're mainly Lotharios over there.
Are they better looking? Is that fair?
Than the English in general, or just Flash?
Than the English in general, but yeah, you include Flash.
It depends on what your type is.
Purposes.
If you ask my mother, she'll tell you no.
Why? What does she like?
She much prefers the English look.
Sort of northern bloke with a beer belly.
Well, you see, I think the Germans are a very good-looking nation, but obviously not many people agree with me, but I think
You've been
so.
to Specsavers recently?
No, I really genuinely believe the Germans. I mean, look, they're not bad.
They're big, solid men. They know what they want. They're efficient. They're effective.
And they have names like Bastian Schweinsteiger. Would you ever mess with anyone called Bastian Schweinsteiger?
No, I wouldn't.
Exactly.
Not really my type.
Nigel, what do you think Italy's greatest contribution to the world is? Bunga
Women.
bunga parties?
I think Kalina. I think he's like,
legend.
I think the referee. I think I miss Kalina, the referee. I think he's been an absolute revelation. I mean, I used to work with an Italian company in London, a betting company called Eurobet, which are based.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were an Italian company, and all the women there had hots from Steve McManaman. In his perm,
No
yeah, because
way.
they said that they never, nothing like the Italian. They didn't like the dark, and the English women like the Perlo, the Figo.
Yeah.
Obviously not Italian, but that kind
So
of.
you always
Latin
go
look.
for what you don't have.
They like the sort of curly hair. They like the difference, the lanky sort of Steve McManaman.
You're quite tall.
What was that? I thought I was in, but I
Crouch
didn't have
is
any
ahead.
enjoy it. I didn't have any.
Crouch.
No, I'm joking.
Crouch. Yeah, but he would
No,
go well.
come on,
He
no,
would.
you-
Matt, he would go well. In that office, they were all over that kind of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, that kind of image. That McManaman, everybody.
It's a rock and roll lifestyle.
What about Pavarotti?
Pavarotti music, of course.
Yeah.
Classical music as well.
Architecture,
Opera.
we're forgetting.
Architecture.
Yeah.
Writing
History.
materials. Someone got me a lovely pad from Florence. It's got a fleur-de-lis on it. It's a lovely pad. I mean, I usually get mine from the 99p shop, so it's got a nice writing pad.
Yeah.
Give me
Leonardo
a-
da Vinci?
Leonardo da Vinci, the
Yeah.
great works of art.
Yeah.
Catholicism, still quite popular
The
worldwide.
Pope.
The Perm.
Pope.
Oh, the Pope, yeah.
Is
the
that
Pope.
one of your sexy
German
names?
now, isn't he?
Ratzenberger. Is that another thing that you would
Well,
like?
it's not, I'm not fully Italian, but anyway, yeah.
Is that why the Pope's German then? Because Italian women wanted a bit of...
Oh my
Deutsch.
God, you are on thin ground, Toby. Imagine. It's just, you know what it is? When you see the kind of look every day, you start going for another look. Maybe that's why I think Germans are good looking.
Who then? So what nation, does anyone know the answer? What nation on earth sort of likes beer-bellied boys from the East Midlands? Is there any?
Americans like them.
Yeah.
Americans, of course, Americans.
They love the
Americans
English
like
accent.
The English.
Yeah, but when you meet an American woman, you always sort of add a bit of Hugh Grant to it, don't you?
Yes.
You never go, all right, Duck, how's it doing? You're all right. You go, oh, hello, darling.
Well, you always turn American.
Hi,
You turn
yeah.
Israeli American. They go, oh, hi. You
I
always
didn't-
turn
How you
into, how you doing? You always turn into an American sort of twang about your voice, I do, when I speak to an American person.
I went out
That
to New
happens to
York
whoever I'm talking to. If someone speaks with an accent, I'm automatically like, you go here and we go. And you don't understand why that automatically
Always.
happens.
Oh, I properly, like, Hugh Granted it up when I went to New York.
Really?
I'll have 2 pints of lager, please, if that's okay with you, darling. Oh, from England. How
James
did you
Bond.
ever guess?
He was a bit James Bond. There was an audition.
I sort of get camper the more I drank, though, so sort of more sort of Kenneth
it work?
Williams. I met one girl, I got a number, but I was out there with a mate. You can't really go on a 10-day trip to New York. You can't really break it off halfway through.
When
for a
I
day.
went to America, everyone said to me, "Oh,
Female,
I love the Australian accent."
We've had them
They thought I
all.
was Australian. They could have said like Del Boy, and only for everyone said to me when I was in America, "Hey, whereabouts in Australia are you from?" Like, no, I'm from London. Like, no, man, you got weird. I thought I was,
What part of Australia
yeah,
is that?
Australian accent, yeah. Like that was the same thing happened in Only Fools and Horses, but there you go. It didn't work.
Was you
for
in
me.
that?
No.
We're looking forward, of course, to England's game against Italy on Sunday. I honestly think we can beat
Can
Italy.
or will?
Well, there's a
Will,
shock.
definitely will.
An Englishman who thinks that they can beat everyone, there's a complete shock.
Oh, no, I'm realistic. I'm realistic. I was nervous at the start of the tournament, but positive.
But now that you found out it's Italy, it's a rollover, right?
I'm not a rollover, but I may be better than the alternative.
I think when you're
Well, you
English,
see,
you
I
get
would
to-
disagree with that because you know what you're getting with Spain. Do you know what you're getting with Italy? I don't know what I'm getting with Italy. I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to play what formation? Who's going to play? Is Balotelli going to start? Are they going to play 4 at the back? They're going to go with 3. Who's going to be in the midfield? Are they going to play trequartista? You don't know the answers. Spain, you know.
No, I think when you're English and you get to the quarterfinals, we're going to penalties. Can
Yeah,
we beat
exactly,
the team
yeah,
at penalties?
yeah.
You know, when we play the Spanish or the Germans, we know we can't beat them at penalties.
What
With the
is this
Italians, I
obsession
think
with
we've got. I
penalties?
think we could beat you at penalties. I think we've got it over
Yeah.
mentally.
Oh yeah, we're not very good at penalties at all.
Exactly.
You can judge by 94 when Baggio skied it, but like,
Yeah.
you don't. Why do you think it's going to go to penalties? What's
Because
the
it always
obsession
goes
with
to penalties.
That's our only
really.
hope.
We always
blast it.
Okay,
Toe pokes, 5 toe pokes, and you're in the semis.
Gianluigi Buffon's like, apparently everyone in England is studying videos of the penalties, and he goes, how do you study for penalties? And I was like, oh God, we're going to lose this. He doesn't even know how we're meant to be studying.
Doesn't
for
know how to work
penalties.
the video. Put the tape in, the front loader.
No, he just stop it.
Shilton's plan in Italian 90. I don't
Just
know
get
if
out of the way of them all.
Well, he was wait till the ball's hit, and then you're always going the
Wait
right
till the
way.
balls hit the net and then dive. He was awful, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he saved a single
He
one.
didn't get
there.
near it to sniff them.
But he went the right way, you see. So his.
But it is actually a good tactic. They do teach you that in goalkeeping school, is that you have to stand up as long as possible before going down, and that way you intimidate your opponent.
I just
Oh,
think
you've got to intimidate.
guess.
Rock the crossbar.
Yeah.
Go,
Spaghetti legs.
yeah,
He'll
spaghetti
do
legs.
that. Joe Hart will do that. I mean,
Oh,
he's,
I bet,
he's
yeah,
a confident bloke. Will
Yeah,
do that.
yeah,
He
he
will
will,
really
yeah.
mentally.
We're going to
he'll
get it
do
done to us. We might as well start doing it back.
I hope he does.
Let's
that.
go
Who's
all
going to get it
penalties.
done to? Oh, we're nice people. We would never do this to
He'll
anyone.
take a penalty as well, Joe Hart. You know.
He wants to take a penalty.
he will
Absolutely
take a
right. Get
It's
in there,
25,
Joe.
it's 25 to 1
They're
to
so
score
up
in
for
a
it.
game and in the penalties. And I think that's when you're English, you just know we're in for a long game. And you know we're going to go to penalties. All our history in quarterfinals, semi-finals, wherever we've gone to penalty shootouts. But what I think it all gets down to Italy, and we think we can beat them on penalties. We don't care what goes on 90 minutes because we know that it's going to penalty shootout. And when it gets there, we've got Joe Hart. And we know that we can beat him on penalties because.
And he takes
No, I
penalties
love the
with
way
his
that
gloves
I
on.
love the way that you say.
Don't take his gloves
But
off.
he said we've got Joe Hart, we've got the number one goalkeeper in
He's
the
getting
world.
old now. He won't be able to get to them crosses, them balls in the corner.
Manchester United still wanted him about a
No, but
year
psychologically,
ago.
he'll come out and he'll do a number on Pirlo, he'll do a number on the other, he'll get in there and he'll
Oh,
give
and
it all the-
Gianluigi Buffon is just going to be like, you know what? Please
No,
go
no,
ahead,
but
Rooney.
he's
Please.
worried about his
Please,
hair and his little scarf. He's making sure that looks good
He's
for the pictures.
number one in the world, the
Don't matter.
most expensive
Don't matter.
goalkeeper in the history
Well,
of
we'll see.
football.
We'll see how they get on tomorrow. We'll take a quick break. Join us afterwards for more discussion on the late breakfast on Sports Tonight. Welcome back to the late breakfast. It's quarter-final weekend. England in action against Italy, Spain and France tonight. We're in the knockout stages. I'm starting with this every time, but I'm really excited by it. I
So
can't
am I.
help
Should
it.
be. I mean,
What are you excited about? The fact that you've reached the quarterfinals?
Yes.
Yes.
All right,
The fact that we will
Did
hopefully
you
reach
really
the
not
semi-finals.
think that you would at all?
Well, I hoped we would get to the final like I do every single tournament.
Oh, right.
And everyone else was being negative, and I thought, you know what, they're good players. Hodgson's got them playing better. I know it's
Hodgson.
not perfect.
Is that his name? Oh,
Roy
it is. I was
Hodgson.
thinking of Capella. Frank Capella, wasn't it his
Prime
name?
time
Fabio
expert.
Cabella. You all right, mate?
No.
It's one in this.
I think we look stronger than we've looked since Euro 2004, and I'm excited. And you know what? You can choose in these tournaments to... I know there are issues with the England side. You can choose as a fan to sort of get all panicky about it and pick holes in it, or you can just think, for an hour and a half, I'm going to treat this in the way that our forefathers, who gave the game to the world, wanted it to be treated as a form of entertainment and not as a form of punishment.
the thing is, Matt, I mean, it's the first time for a long time we've actually gone into tournament and tried our best. I mean,
Yes.
the players have gone out there and not really delivered, and that is one thing that the English people expect. So when they go and play, you know, you Italian people, they go out and you expect that all the time. We've had 2 major tournaments where we just haven't turned up as a team. And regardless,
Well, literally in
if we get beat 2-0, we get beat on penalties, it doesn't make no difference, because what we've done is we've gone out there and we've given 100% effort. That's all you can ask. And when I've done these shows before, and people, younger generation, come on here, and they're much more concerned about Man United or Liverpool than England. I think this tournament has changed that philosophy around, and we now believe that we can win it, and we're going to win it, and we're going to beat the Italians, and we are going all the way, and we're going to win the World Cup as well.
I thought it was Peter O'Sullivan then. I thought we was in a horse race.
Right, it's the first tournament we've actually given it.
Oh dear, this always
Absolutely.
happens.
Are you not joining in,
In
Mina?
the start of every tournament, I'm like, oh, I really want England to win. Then I start reading the press, and I'm like, oh, goodness sake.
Oh, but you can't trust the press. I watched One Night in Turin this week. I don't know if you've ever seen
Yeah.
that, the documentary about the World Cup campaign in 1990. And it's not a perfect documentary, but you see the barrage of abuse Bobby Robson was getting
Yeah.
throughout that tournament. It was disgraceful. And what, 20 odd years later, things haven't changed. We still have a press desperate to vilify our management and players.
We always want to just build them up to knock them down, don't we? I mean,
But the fans, I think the fans really want them to succeed.
oh, they do. They
But
do.
You
Of
say
course
that,
you do.
if you look, the last World Cup when Ray Rooney come off and started having a go at the fans,
Oh,
if
yeah.
he'd done that 20 years ago, he would have been absolutely slated by the media.
that's a fair point.
And I think they're more fair now than what they are. I mean, the reason why, if that was Graham Taylor or Bobby Robson playing in the last World Cup, and we played that performances, they would have been slated by the media. And the reason that they've been okay now is there's no optimism behind them. The guy's gone and he's unbeaten, he's put a team together, and they're trying. And there's no wags around, there's a team spirit around them, and that is all you
There
can
are
ask
wags
for.
around.
Yeah, but they're not walking around the streets putting on barbells, they're just behind the scenes, doing the bit that every
It's
other
more
team
low-key
does.
than it
Much
was
low-key.
in Baden-Baden.
And we've got a chance of doing it because there's a togetherness about the team, and all we demand is the players do their best.
Now
That's
we
what
are
they're doing.
joined live from the Ukraine by Mr. Sunshine himself. It's Nicky Summerbee, the happiest man in Europe. How you doing, mate?
Not too bad, wonderful. It's
Ventriloquist.
You look well.
Tell.
You what,
I didn't
mate?
feel uncomfortable at all, by the way. But what it was, we went into his club, and then upstairs was a techno, and downstairs was an 80s, right? Which I absolutely hated. But all night long, these people kept coming up to me saying, "Shouldn't you be downstairs?"
Nicky, we're going to come back to you because I think we've got a slight coordination problem where it looked like you were throwing your voice very effectively.
I want to back into Britain's Got Talent as the best ventriloquist. He's going to win Ukraine's Got Talent. as a
Even when he's
ventriloquist
saying
act.
that he's enjoying himself, Nicky Summerbee,
He's not.
his face tells a very different story.
He's lying to himself, isn't he?
He's nervous.
Nervous? I
I don't think he even knows where he is.
There were a lot of
Where am I?
concerns, weren't there, Nigel, at the start of the tournament that fans going to, particularly to the Ukraine, would get a difficult time. The fears about violence and far-right groups and the rest of it. What was your experience out there in terms of dealing with our supporters and dealing with other teams?
I mean, our supporters were togetherness about. There was only about 4,000 or 5,000. They were all located in one bar, one area, and they were absolutely different class. I mean, they were just happy-go-lucky, and I was amazed how old they were. You know, when you consider.
So what sort of age we're talking?
Well, I'm talking like sort of late 40s, early 50s.
Sort of your
you know,
age?
my age, you know, yeah, well, early 40s. But they were like, they weren't youngsters, you know. I mean, you look about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 21-year-olds. There was a lot of people living with their dads, like families, like two sons and their dad. You know, it was a big generation thing, and they were just good. The Ukrainians were absolutely superb. And there was one night we went to the fan zone the first night where Poland played the first game. The Poland game was fine, and then suddenly after, when Russia played, there was a real bad level. Yeah, there was a lot of sort of tension. But that was the only problem I found. And I honestly, personally think if the Russians progressed in this competition, that could have reared his ugly head. But because they went out, I think that meant that everything was fine. But the Ukrainian people were absolutely different class. English fans were changed. But when you speak to them, there's these guys, and they'd be on the drink from like 2 in the afternoon to like 6 in the morning.
Legends.
And you say to you say to them, like, oh, what do you do? I'm a bank manager. What do you do? I'm a mortgage advisor.
Do you think the demographic then of England fans who travel has changed then?
Definitely.
Are there less working class England fans going to these
Definitely. These are guys who've got good jobs. They've got money. I mean, it's so expensive to follow them. I mean, flights are £600 a flight. And you travel from one end of the country to another. Hotels. I mean, these guys. This is costing this. If we could qualify, progress.
The tickets are the cheapest thing about it.
It probably costs about £5 or £6 grand.
We've got Nicky Summerbee back. Good morning, Nicky.
Good morning, that's better.
Oh, that's much better.
You look well.
Just woke up out of bed, haven't I? Techno club. Hey?
Dude.
I don't. Do you want me totally out of place? Yeah, that's what I felt like.
Have you got any mates out there, Nicky, or is it just you? Are you a lone wolf?
Just me and my lover here, Josh.
So you were out last night, you went to the techno club.
A techno club, right? And do you know, you just think, beam me up, Scotty. And everyone's bouncing around everywhere. And downstairs was an 80s part.
Yeah.
And every night every couple of minutes, a guy kept coming up saying, look, shouldn't you be downstairs?
Oh, there he is. You look lovely when you smile, Nicky.
Because he kept saying that. I said, no, I'm all right. What's the matter with me being up here then? Is there a problem here? Or what? And then he just kept coming back saying, are you really sure you're happy here? I must have just stood out like an absolute idiot.
I mean, would you move to the Ukraine? Do you like it as a country, Nicky?
It's good. The people and everything are. I just heard what Nigel said there. Everything what was said before was so much put out, just wrong, really. Because the people, they do everything for you. The guy where we were staying, where Nigel stayed as well, he couldn't do enough. He was picking you up, just everything. Even at the end when we got on the train, he was waving us off. He was there, he was waving us as a train pulled off. They do everything.
Maybe it's just for you, Nicky.
Even coming in out of Kiev, which is
maybe it's the Reddies,
city.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say.
I think they put a really good show on.
Are you sure you've got any money left, though? He was waving goodbye because he's pickpocketed you.
No, he did. He only used to like Josh because he used to get Josh to drive him to the bank. He used to take Josh to the bank every morning. He never used to speak to me. He used to pop in the morning and go, come on, Josh, we go bank now. So no wonder he liked him. Didn't like me. He used to call me Nige.
It's better than being called Mike, no, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'll take that one, yeah.
Nicky, what about the food out there? What have you been living off?
No, we found some of the barbecue restaurants, so you do all the. I mean, I love the old chicken wings, me. So we found a cracking place right near the ground in Donetsk, which was really good there, and it did all the steaks and all that lot. And we found a couple of nice restaurants here. There was another big steak. I mean, all we're doing is there was a lady walking down the road yesterday, and she took us to this restaurant, Sam's Chop House it was, and they're really helpful. That's exactly what the people like. There's nice restaurants. This is a big city, Kiev. There's a lot of wealth there, and there's a lot of the opposite as well. But there's a lot more wealth there. You can see all the big cars that are driving around.
Yeah.
And it was quite interesting where we went yesterday, though. You know the film my dad was in, Escape to Victory.
Yeah.
Well, it's Dynamo Kiev. It's actually a true story. Right, which I didn't realise about, and there's a monument about it. There was Dynamo Kiev, what's your one, Josh? Locomotive Kiev teamed up and played against the Germans, right? And they won the game. And the story is with it is that the Gestapo put them into the concentration camps. 4 of them escaped, and then the rest of them got shot. So we did a piece there, but we've been trying to send it over, and it's been a bit of a disaster. So I thought all that Escape to Victory was a bit of a joke and a film made, but it's actually true. So we went round there, and we went into the ground, and it was quite strange, really, because they've obviously not done anything with it, and it was it was a bit of a story there.
That's a huge story, yeah. I mean, when I asked you about the food, Nicky, I thought maybe you'd tried some of the local stuff. Do you know what I mean? It sounds like you've just been trying to find the local Rose and Crown out there.
Like Labrador.
No, but what we're...
you had anything without chips?
Talking about this beetroot soup, which I just can't seem to get my head around that.
Beetroot soup?
Beetroot soup. What's it called?
That sounds lovely.
Borscht or something, but I just can't seem to get my head around that. But all their stuff is all pickled cucumbers and pickled everything and all that, and salami. Not a big fan of that. So that's why chicken wings all day long.
You basically just found Mackie D's and KFC out there.
They don't do any gravy as well.
You can't even get gravy in the south of England, Nicky, let alone in the Ukraine.
You can't. Yeah, you're right there. That's a different story. That. I'm going to tell you when I obviously live down in London, so I went the other week for some fish and chips, cod and chips, two mushy peas and a curry sauce. How much?
Oh,
12 quid.
15 quid.
£28.
Oh! Oh!
You had to
Big
pick me off the
fish.
floor.
That's
Devastating.
incredible.
Eh?
I bet it tasted good though, eh?
It did. But just another quick question: Where did Nigel get them trousers from?
One Direction, mate. One Direction.
What's that, Desert Storm?
Hey?
What's that, Desert Storm?
Oh, don't you like them?
Nice.
I've been getting stick about the hair as well. They said I'm trying to grow it and stuff.
Nigel, you started dressing like one of these over here now, haven't you?
Yeah.
You could get the flip flops and socks on next.
Yeah, that's the week. That's on tomorrow, mate, for the barbecue for the football. I'll have that on for that.
Oh, they look you got a nice vest.
What's
as well.
happening with the head? Turn your head to the
Like
side,
that.
Nick. Turn your head to the side a bit. I want to see the old hair at the back. It's all sticking up with the old back.
To your
like that.
right.
Turn to your right. Look at that. Look at the
Oh,
old hair. You haven't got my bar, Nick. Look at that one there.
Listen, I might be having a Wayne Rooney when I come back. So it's looking a treat, that, isn't it?
What, you bet?
Well, yeah, look, that's what we don't know about that. I'm not watching them Germans. Had a bit of a panic up last night. They all well, the Germans, didn't they?
Look very well, mate.
Yeah,
Look very
that's
well.
excellent.
Look, vulnerable at the back now, mate. You might get a couple of goals against them. That's the only hope you got.
Yeah, listen, yeah, but I think we'll beat Italy, I really do. And then obviously after that, it's getting real crunch time. All the teams are coming through now. Ronaldo's coming. Germany. It's going to be. This is it now. It's just crunch time. So I think we'll beat. I just think we'll beat Italy. And then obviously after that, I think it was the
What
Germans.
makes you
are gonna
think
play,
you're going to
isn't
beat
it?
Italy?
Pardon?
Why are you so confident you're just going to beat Italy?
I just got that feeling.
I think that's the chicken wings, mate.
Yeah.
Nigel,
Yeah.
explain this bet. What are the details of it?
Nick's having a panic up because he had a bet with us, bet button. He backed England to win the competition and Wayne Rooney to be the top goal scorer.
Okay.
And he stands to win 50 grand if it comes in. He was getting very bullish the other day. I said, calm down, Nick. Ronaldo's got to say it. The Germans got to say it. Yeah. He's in with a chance though. They're 50 to 1 now. The bet he took 250 to 1. So they've come in, but he needs tomorrow's a big game.
Can he lay off though?
He needs Rooney to get a bag.
Can you lay off, Nick?
Can I what?
Lay off.
He won't.
What's that? Lay off. I know what a lay-in is.
Don't worry about it. Look at the old haircut again. The old haircut. It's unbelievable.
Is there?
Your barnet is gone.
It's unbelievable, the haircut. No, so he stands to win 50 grand. He's Rooney, so he's cheering on big and I think that's why he's so confident they're going to win tomorrow.
Wow. Well, Nicky,
Listen, you just never know, do you? That's you know.
It's true.
Let's see what happens tomorrow. I think we'll win tomorrow, and then obviously after that, you just never know, do you? Listen, it's going to take if Rooney's going to, for me, if he's going to finish the top goal scorer, you know, he's going to have a very good. He's got to have a good competition, so it's down to him to step up in these big games. And you see, listen, you look at the opportunities. He's not, you know, properly fit. Really, just come in straight away from you know, for having a bit of time off. Had 3 opportunities. Should have scored 2 of them. You know, but he got 1 of them, so
Nick,
he's off and running.
Nick, if he does win it and England do win the competition, I will be meeting you at London Heathrow Airport with a cheque for 50 grand. I promise you.
Hey, there'll be a queue behind.
You are coming into Gatwick, aren't you?
No, if we say Gatwick, I'm coming in the other one.
Oh, right, okay. All right, mate.
Nicky, pleasure talking to you. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Nigel, the leather jacket, let's get rid of that, what we had on, and get rid of them pants.
Really? Not good look. You don't like it, no?
We'll just put that down to history. I'll just say I never saw that.
You get back to that techno club. I'd like to see you there last night, old boy.
With them earphones on.
Sort that barnet out as well.
See you later, everybody.
See you, Nicky.
Thanks.
Cheers,
I'm
mate.
just going to go for my beetroot soup.
He's going to go for his beetroot soup. Nicky Summerbee there joining us live from the Ukraine. We're going to take a short break. Join us afterwards on the Late Breakfast. Welcome back to the Late Breakfast. We were just talking to Nicky Summerbee there, live in the Ukraine. We're looking forward, of course, to England's game against Italy tomorrow in the quarter-finals. Even though I'm optimistic, right, I must admit, sort of saying quarter-finals, this is the first time it's dawned on me, like, we're in the last 8 of 16, right? So far, it doesn't feel like a huge achievement. But we've played 3 games.
The way I look at it is we are going to finish 5th, aren't we? because we're going to be the last quarter-finals. There'll only be 5 teams in it. So the worst we could be is finish 5th. So that's the way I'm trying to sort it out.
If we get to the semi-finals, if we beat Italy, right?
Look how you just think ahead. You know, most teams say, "Oh, we've got to do this first. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's try to see what the next match is going to bring us, and then we'll work from there." All of you guys already think, "Oh, when we win it, and then we get all this money, what are we going to buy?"
We're last place, we can finish 5th.
Positive mental attitude. Yeah. You've got to see it in your
Where
head.
did this get you before? 1966 victory. Think of your next match only. Promise you, it's a much better outlook.
That's all footballers ever say. We're taking each game as it comes. That's the great cliche. Let the fans dream of a wonderful world.
Did you see what Rio Ferdinand tweeted?
Probably a load of nonsense based on rap.
And then Giuseppe Rossi responded to him going, "All right then."
What did he tweet?
Something along the lines of, "Yeah, we'll do it. You know."
Yes, blood
But what's he going to say? You know what I mean? What's he going to say? No, we're going to get beat. And then the whole country's going to have a pop at him.
There's an in-between, like what our players are.
See, that's what I've got to learn.
What's the point in tweeting that? I'm not sure if we're going to win at the weekend.
No, there's no need to write that. Just say we're going to have a real go at this, you know. Not, yeah, we'll kill him. Do you know what I mean?
This will be a tricky
It's about being irrational, isn't it?
Well, you didn't actually write that, but it's just whatever.
That's what you meant.
I mean, I know it's hard for you because you're outnumbered here. You know, in England terms, you're an Italian fan. I mean,
no, you see, this is the thing. You see, I also consider myself English. Like those are my two teams going forward. So I'm a little bit gutted that they're having to face each other.
No, there is no out of the two. Italian.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Italian, but I have to say a lot of it has to do with the fact that I dislike the way that people support England. That has a lot to do with it.
The way that they support
England? Yeah.
We cheer wrongly.
No, it's not that. It's a bit like, you know, it's very much like, oh, Serie A, it's ridiculous, stupid football, you know.
Oh, come on, it's just part of banter.
Who do they have? Pirlo, Caron, you know, who do they have? 3 at the back? Oh, it's a joke.
Well, to be fair,
it's that, and it's the way that everyone keeps thinking of their match against
English fans
Germany.
used to go balmy for Serie A, you know, on Channel 4.
Yeah, in 94 you did. In 94, do you guys still think that now?
The Premier League's the greatest league in the world.
A lot of England fans wouldn't even know it.
That's just a brain.
Okay, well, a lot of the England fans who actually go and watch it in pubs and clubs wouldn't even know one player from the Italian League. But I don't think.
There we go. This is the thing. Whereas I find that, you know, when you speak to a Spaniard and you speak to someone else, everyone knows everything. There's a bit more sophistication in the way that they support their team.
Everyone just supports their team. You know, old ladies support the team. They don't know anything about Pirlo. They don't know. Everybody gets behind the nation.
It's tribal.
We'll win. They don't know nothing about it. They'll say Chelsea won.
We can revisit this. It's certainly an interesting discussion. But we're now joined on the line by the Labour MP for Chesterfield, Toby Perkins. Good morning, Toby.
Good morning.
Pleasure talking to you, mate. Now, you and I watched the Ukraine game together on Wednesday night, and I very much enjoyed it indeed. A lot of people said it was a shaky performance, though. Do you think England can overcome Italy on Sunday?
Yeah, I think we can. I think we're looking tough to beat, and that's the biggest thing with these tournaments is that no one finds you easy to score against. So I don't think we've been incredibly fluent, but we've looked tough to beat, and we've shown that ability to win games where we're not playing brilliant, which augurs pretty well.
Now, you're a big football fan. What about some of your parliamentary colleagues? Are they all starting to get into it? Are they going to show any of the games in Parliament?
I don't know. Obviously, we're working so hard in Parliament, it's sometimes difficult to find time, but I know there's a lot of football fans in Parliament, and I'm sure they'll all be wanting to show their support should England reach the semi-finals, and we're at work at the time.
Do you think England will reach the semi-finals, or are we all getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here?
I think we've got a chance. I think that, you know, Italy, I think, have also looked really solid, and I think it's a tough draw. You know, a lot of people felt that Spain was the one to avoid. Yeah. But, you know, actually, I think Spain haven't looked as impressive as Italy. I think that's going to be a really hard game. Interestingly, it's another country that's got a really poor track record on penalties, so it might be one of those games that goes to penalties, and it's a case of who misses the least.
Hi, Toby, it's Mina. You said I support Italy, but you said that it was going to be a difficult match, and then you still think that you're going to win it. So is it just because you think you're a hard team to beat?
Well, I think we're a hard team to beat, and I think we've got a good chance of winning it. I wouldn't say that I'm overconfident, but at the same time, I think we're in with a good chance. I think England are tough to beat, and we've got Rooney if he's in form, or Walcott, who tends to just have that bit of magic in the big games. You know, maybe we'll just come through. Let's hope so.
And will you win against Germany?
Oh, well, that's getting ahead of ourselves, but I
We
think
take one
if
game at a
an
time.
English team
Yeah,
can
sure,
win on
buddy.
penalties in the final, then maybe anything can happen this year.
Toby, politics and football are often said not to mix, and one thinks of Silvio Berlusconi in Italy and his ownership of AC Milan. Would you ever have ambitions of owning a football club?
Well, I mean, not in realistic terms, no. But it's one of those things I think all football fans would love to have the opportunity to run their club, to decide who the manager is, and hire and fire and that sort of thing. But sadly, the Perkins coffers are looking a little bit empty and not quite a football-owning calibre, I'm afraid.
Toby, Gordon Watson here. So who is your club?
Well, obviously as the MP for Chesterfield, I keep a paternalistic eye towards the Spireites, but if Civil War ever broke out, I'm really a Sheffield United fan.
Well, then your coffers will be far too much to buy that club, surely.
Well, no, I mean, I think it needs a little bit more than what I've gone through.
I don't know about that.
When West Ham pay us this money they owe us, we might be a bit better off.
Yeah, I'm sure Sheffield Wednesday will lend you a few quid.
Milan. Well, now that he's in the clear, maybe he has got a few quid. You never know.
Milan's never in the clear.
So you said that, not I.
No, not Milan. See, she jumped on that.
I
See,
don't understand anything that he's
I said
been saying. What
Milan,
are coffers?
Milan Mandarich, who's the chairman of Sheffield Wednesday. But she took offence straight away. See that defensiveness? That's the Italian defence again. So we've just had an Italian lady take offence because I was talking about somebody else.
Yeah.
It's all gone wrong. So what about the hopes for England?
Well, I mean, I think that we've had a good tournament and we've exceeded everyone's expectations. In many ways, actually, it reminds me of 1990, where we went actually into the tournament with very low expectations. We had a manager that the press was slamming, and actually, we look back on that as one of our greatest ever performances. And I think the way this squad has that sort of sense of togetherness. Gives you there's a lot of parallels with that. Maybe we can achieve more than what anyone thinks is possible. And if they could get through to the final, it'd be just amazing, really.
Toby, finally, whereabouts are you going to watch it on Sunday?
Well, that's a good question. I'm still in negotiations with Mrs. Perkins on that subject, so I think I'll probably end up in a watering hole on the Chatsworth Road somewhere. But also, my son likes to watch it, so might have to be responsible. We'll see.
Where do you think, in general, where's the best place to watch it? If you can't go to the game, do you think it's best to watch it at home, in the pub?
No, I mean, I think it's got to be the boozer with a couple of hundred of your friends and like-minded colleagues around you. I don't think there's anything like the atmosphere. And we were in O'Neill's this week watching the Ukraine game, and it was a great atmosphere. The next best thing to be in there.
Absolutely right. Toby, thank you very much for joining us, mate. Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you. Yeah, have a good weekend. Cheers,
Good luck.
Cheers, mate. Well, there you are. If MPs think we can win it, if Parliament's behind us,
Yes.
or he's a tall man, that's not quite his actual tall. That's not his
You know
actual
what,
height
though? He
compared to
said
Big
a lot
Ben.
of stuff that I would agree with. I mean, it's much easier to play with that
Well, he's a
pressure.
politician. That's his job.
No, I'm just saying that without pressure, or even though I don't understand much of your conversations because I have no idea what coffers is, or half of the things I don't
Money is
understand.
coffers.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's
I
saying
feel like
that
I'm not even English
he's saying
anymore.
he's trying to tell us he's skint, so he can claim more on his expenses.
Broke, basically. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? He said he's broke.
It's reassuring, isn't it? I mean, I don't want to be part. I know Toby Perkins,
Yeah.
and we sort of watch football together and stuff like that. But it's always reassuring when you hear, someone who's in Parliament, if not in government, who genuinely is passionate about football. It always reassures me as a
I'd
football
rather
fan.
listen to his view
Yeah.
of football than David Cameron turning around
Yeah,
saying
exactly,
we're going to win Euro, come on, and wave the flag.
Chelsea, yeah.
Watching Chelsea with the Merkels in the EU boardroom.
Oh, that's
I mean,
right,
that
yeah.
was but I think what he said there about parallels with 1990, absolutely right. I mean, the first two games in 1990, we played Republic of Ireland, played Egypt, we were awful. Republic of Ireland game, we were
What was your
absolutely
score
awful.
against Italy in 1990?
It was a third place playoff, which
Yeah,
means
we lost.
nothing, and we
No.
lost. And you had a guy. We put out a first team because you need Scalacci was going for the golden
Scalacci,
boot,
that's right,
and we
yeah.
put out a complete reserve side with Steve Ball, Dave Besson. It wasn't our
So,
greatest.
what is your record against England? Against Italy?
I think we've drawn a lot. I think we've drawn
Yeah.
5 out
In
of
the
7.
run-up to
Yeah, we
France
have-
1982,
I think we've
0-0.
drawn 5. I think
Back in
Shall I
1977.
shall I actually tell you what it is?
1977.
Well, why did you ask me if you knew?
Because I just wanted to see what you
She's
guys
playing
thought.
with you.
I think
But I do
So
love
we
the
talk
way
about
that you are so
confrontational England
optimistic.
football fans.
There's
but-
a lot of draws, though, isn't there?
It's like, I don't think it's a bad record. It's like 6 4 wins to Italy, 1 draw, 1 win to England.
That's not.
it.
I think there's 5.
So we're unbeaten in
5
4
draw. I think
games
there's 4 games
Since
have been draws.
1990.
I went to the game in
Oh, since
1990.
1990,
But
yeah.
we played 1990 was a friendly at Wembley. I remember they had Baresi, Zenga. They had,
You won a friendly against us.
They had and Baggio. And we had Dave Besant in goal. Definitely Dave Besant playing in goal. I think we had a real bad sides out. I mean, we played you. We've only played you in 2 major competitions, and you've won them both in big games.
And qualifiers.
Yeah, but the rest of them are the 3rd place playoffs in World Cup final. You know,
Yeah.
we had 1 game when we had to go and get a draw in Italy.
was phenomenal,
And
yeah.
Paul Ince and Glenn Hoddle would put in a tactical genius performance there. A very underrated performance for England, and we did the job. And something about it, I just think it's going to go to extra time penalties, and I think we've got the number of you mentally.
You know what? I think you can win, and I don't only think you can win this match. I think you could win the
Where
whole
you
thing.
we've done it. Say this an hour. We've done it.
I'm going to say that, but the way that you think that makes me not want that to happen. Does that make sense?
No, you don't want us to be happy.
No, I want you guys to be happy, but I want you to be a little bit
If you-
more like realistic.
if
in
you
your
play
way
the way you did against
support.
Spain, if you
and
play
I hate
against Spain,
people
you'll beat us.
disrespecting other teams.
If you play the way against Spain, you'll beat us. You'll keep the ball midfield. You've got ball players in midfield. We haven't got in Wiltshire. We haven't got anyone. We've got battlers in midfield. You keep the ball, you'll beat us. But if you played it like you did against Croatia, when Croatia got that goal and you had it on the ropes, and the tactics are important. If you play Carroll up front, plays Walcott, get pace at you, puts direct ball in it, you are vulnerable. Fact.
Look, I'll tell you what. I think we'll dominate the first 60 minutes. You can take the last. And I think that's when you'll hurt us. It'll be the last because we tire out. It depends on what formation we play. That's when it's going to get exciting to see whether or not we can keep possession.
Can you imagine how
it's
unbearable we would be if we won it?
Oh no.
This
Well, it would be unbelievable.
do you understand what I mean, though? Do you get why I'm telling you that this is what the only bad thing about being sort of someone who's supporting it is?
Yeah, but England, we
oh,
have
we're
that
the
problem.
best. No,
But
you're
we
not.
are.
You're not
still
saying the
wanna-
best.
You know what really bugs me is
saying the
if
best.
Italy played the kind of football that you are playing in this world, it would be like disgusting, ridiculous, catenaccio.
We are. We're playing like Italy.
Yeah, but of course, all of a sudden, it's no longer a bad thing if you do it.
Oh, well,
Hold on,
I've been
It's
saying
no
it's
longer a bad
For
thing.
too long.
But Serie A is the worst league in the world because we're playing the kind of football that you're playing, right?
For too long, we've played dreadful football and lost. If we're gonna, at least if we're going to play dreadful football, let us win.
Yeah, you know what? I've always agreed with that. So I don't understand what all the hate is towards the Italian style of football.
no hate.
There's no one else.
We love the
We love
Italians.
Really?
Okay.
Really? I mean, I just even saw the headlines when Roberto Mancini was this close to losing the title. Oh, he was so defensive. He should have gone for attacking
Every
forward.
manager gets stick in this country. Every single one of them, regardless of nationality.
It's
And we're
you
hard
have
on
a
England
lot.
managers.
You have a lot against the Italian style of football.
No,
Yes,
there's
you
a lot
do.
of respect for it. Roberto Mancini's lauded. He's a great personality. I love the man.
Balotelli's been
Genuine
probably the
respect
most.
and warmth from English fans.
And what about
Love player in
Gianfranco
the Premier League.
Zola?
Yeah, but he's not that kind of
Di
player.
Matteo?
Neither is Di Matteo. He's not that kind of
What
player
about
either.
Vialli? We love Vialli as well.
Listen, you love your Italian players, don't get me wrong, but my point is you don't respect the way that they play their football.
We do.
We do.
We respect it so much. We've copied it.
Yeah, I was going to say that. That's and I would say
We're doing
that
an impression of it.
a lot of the Italian players that came over in the early 90s or late 90s, they actually helped bring on our players, and they showed us that we were technically inept.
We love Italy.
So
love
we took it
Italian
on to the
food,
next
You're
Italian
not
level.
culture.
technically inept, you're tactically inept.
No, we were technically inept, not tactically. Technically, we
I think
couldn't.
it was
Because we can't keep the ball. Honestly, it's like it burns your foot. It's like, oh, get off.
But you know
Whereas
what,
you're
this is
happy with
another
it.
thing, like, look how long Spain kept the ball. That doesn't mean anything. You can have the ball for 15 seconds, the way that Udinese do, and they came third in the Serie A, and they barely keep
Well,
the
so
ball.
far, in this tournament, we are 16 out of 16, so we're bottom of the league in passes. We are bottom of the league in possession. We're just bottom.
But you
and we'll
topped
probably
it.
win it.
But you topped it.
Guys, we're going to
Now
have to go to break. Mina, a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
Are you off
It
now?
really has
Red
been
card.
wonderful.
Get out.
Red card.
Get the Italian now.
Well, you've subbed yourself, I suppose. You had to leave.
No,
it
but
this
you know
time.
what? Good luck. So I really do.
Thank you. And, I genuinely,
wins, I'm
there's-
happy.
I hope we have been positive ambassadors for English football fans.
Of course you have
We'll
been.
be back after the break where Mina will be replaced by the comedy legend, Tim Vine. Stay tuned to the Late Breakfast on Sports Tonight. Welcome back to the Late Breakfast. We're now joined on the sofa by the one and only Tim Vine.
Viewers! What a wonderful thing it is to be here. How are you, chaps?
Good, mate.
I've
Good.
been-
Very well, thank
so
you.
I've been glued to the discussions. England are going to win. It's very simple.
Do you think so?
I do.
Why?
Because it's important as an English fan. I don't have a club to support, really, to be
Yeah.
honest. So my only club is England. So I think it's important to... Part of the reason why we sometimes win is when we all don't admit we're going to lose. Do you know what I mean? It's important to have faith.
Yes.
Even if somewhere at the back, you know, about 20 minutes in, we all start going, oh, it's happened again, isn't it?
Or it's going to happen
Yeah,
again.
yeah, exactly. But at this stage, we've got to believe.
And before the tournament started, did you believe?
Well, I was someone who wanted Redknapp, to be honest, so I've taken a little bit of persuasion. But I am very much in favour of an England manager, an English manager. Sorry.
Any manager.
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, there have been some years when we would have been better without one altogether. But yeah, so I think it's. So I'm not anti Roy Hodgson. In actual fact, I've grown to like him as the tournament's gone on. But
And the way that you support football, England is effectively your club, isn't it? And you go to Wembley a lot to watch England.
yeah, I go
So
and
you
see
probably
the home
more than
games.
anyone
Yeah,
else.
yeah. I'm not really. Yeah, I haven't just flown back from the Ukraine for this.
No, indeed. But you see them probably more than anyone else.
I probably do actually. Yeah, my brother is a season ticket holder at Chelsea, so once in a while I go and see them. But I wouldn't say I'm a fan of them. And Sutton occasionally I go to, but that's just much smaller.
And sort of over the last few years, let's take it sort of from Euro 2004, which a lot of people think was our last good tournament, the last one where we sort of acquitted ourselves well.
Euro
2004.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that great 4-2 victory against
Yeah.
Croatia. You know, Rooney was on fire and he was new. Since then, it hasn't been great. In that time, do you think things, from what you've seen at this tournament, are we better than 2006? Are we better than 2004?
We're certainly better than 2006.
Yeah.
Just in terms of the excitement of the. I mean, I remember watching games in 2006 at the World Cup, and almost not. Some of the games were like watching a cricket match. Some of those group games, they were so slow. It was unreal.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is about 2004. I mean, that was the last time I do remember being really kind of like, yeah. But it's always. I mean, you guys should be talking more than me. I don't know anything about football. I'm on the wrong show.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're in
I thought it was his
good
babe station. I don't want. I don't take my shirt off. No, but have you noticed how it's always, historically, it's always the first time that young players are introduced to a team is when they play their best. So, like Gaza in Italia '90, that was when he first came into the team. Absolutely brilliant.
Walcott 2006.
Well, yeah, if they should have played him. Who knows? Yeah, that might have been his moment. Rooney 2004.
Oxlade-Chamberlain now.
Well, this is my slight disappointment. I was going to say Owen 1998. So I was all geared up for Oxlade-Chamberlain when he was first played. The romantic in me thought he'd get the ball and do something unbelievable. So I've been a little bit disappointed by that. And I kind of wish that, not at the expense of Oxlade-Chamberlain, but I do wish Adam Johnson was out there because I'm a massive fan of Adam Johnson. Because he actually, I want to see people...
Instead of Downing?
Yeah, I would take him instead of Downing. I'd possibly take him instead of Milner, but I don't...
You ahead of Downing.
Yeah, take Mrs Johnson instead of Downing.
The other thing about England games as well is that we always do well when we go behind.
Yes, that's
through
right.
history, you know, when we played Holland, people forget that Holland went 1-0 up, we won 4-1 at Wembley.
That's right.
In the World
Very
Cup
true.
final, we won 1-0 down. Every game, in Germany, when we won 5-1, we went 1-0 behind.
That's right.
And every time we go in front of games, we can never, we play this defensive style of football, and we're never, ever good enough to see it through. I mean, and the only time we really come back to our own was against Sweden, was when we went behind again.
Yeah, it's true.
So we sort of, if we concede an early goal, never let that
On
write us off.
purpose.
We come back, we
No,
come
it's
back,
true.
when our backs against
We're in
the
more
walls of
danger
nation.
when we score
That's
first.
definitely true.
But yeah, every time we score first,
oh, that's
we
it.
you know what's going to happen.
Because everyone goes, well, we're going to do it,
Yeah.
and then they equalise, and then they score another, and then they score another, and you're like, oh, I can't believe
The
it.
most disappointing one for that was the, was it 2006 Brazil?
Brazil,
Yeah.
when Owen
2002,
scored early
2002,
doors.
wasn't it?
2002, yes,
And
it was all
Owen
funny
scored
times.
first, and then it just
That
crashed.
Ronaldinho
Man, it was
free
incredibly
kicks.
hot, wasn't it? That was the problem.
And then no one ever really made it. Before they scored the first goal in that game, I was saying that David Beckham went for a tackle and he jumped out of it. Do you remember?
Everyone talks about that,
And then he
yeah.
kicked
Yeah,
out.
I think that's a bit unfair, though,
I'm
isn't
not
it?
so
That
sure.
because that was some time before the goal. They were
Yeah, but
looking
he
for
broke through and then he put the ball
Oh, I
through. And it was
suppose so.
right. It was only about a minute before the first half. And it
Whatever
just,
happened to him?
Yeah, I suppose. Oh, we were out to get
Never
Olympic
made
gold.
it, exactly.
Oh, they could well do get. I mean, you could be excited about Team GB. You
No.
told us to go to
I
the
am,
Olympics.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Was that our only chance of a medal?
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Footballing medal.
But I remember in the early 90s they were talking about a GB team, not just for the Olympics, but in terms of internationals, and
Yeah.
stuff with Brian Clough managing it. And I've always wanted, as an England fan, to unite the United
But
Kingdom.
you wouldn't be uniting it
Let's
because there's no other players from any countries that will get in.
No, the
Gareth
Republic of Ireland team about the early '90s. There's some great players. You had, like, Paul McGrath.
Oh, John Sheridan.
You had all them sort of you had good players in
Well,
that
it was
level.
funny because
Kevin Sheedy.
Ian
Yeah.
Rush, Ian Sheedy.
Sheedy,
player.
what a left foot.
yeah, brilliant left foot.
Hold on,
But
my own Ian Forde.
But you could have had Ryan Giggs at points, Gareth Bale now.
oh yeah, I mean Gareth Bale, and that would be the only one probably out of the four nations outside England that would get in when you actually have a look. But going back, you had Mark Hughes, Ian Rush, You had Dean Saunders.
Keith Gillespie.
I mean, and you think about, we had Jeff Thomas, Tony DeRigo and Colton Palmer.
Jeff Thomas.
So, I mean...
Keith Curl.
Keith Curl. I mean, there's plenty of them.
Euro 92 was a total disaster.
Andy Sinton.
Andy Sinton. I mean, when you look back on European championships, we didn't even qualify in 2008. 2004 was good.
Ruins the whole summer when we're not there.
Well, that's why I think we should have a home nations tournament in the off seasons, in between World Cups and Euros.
Yeah.
Have a home nations tournament, rotate it around the nations.
Oh, what? Just the 3? What, like
the 4?
Oh, sorry, 4.
Who have we got rid of, Tim?
Sorry,
Scotland,
Wales.
didn't want to be part of it anymore.
Or even Scotland, England, Wales, Northern Ireland, the Republics are 5 actually. Just do it as like a great.
Just do like rugby, bang Italy in as well, make it a 6 nations.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
I mean, the thing is with that though. I mean, England are playing Scotland. It's coming back now, isn't it? The fixture's coming back.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's coming back.
Okay.
So that will be good. But I mean, I remember the last one in, I think it was 1990. I mean, the England team, that Steve Ball and John Fashanu were up front. Fashanu was up front of that game. I think he made his England debut in that time. But that 1992 team, we had DeRigo playing right back, Keith Curl. And you had it was Andy Sinton, Alan Smith come off for Lineker. But this team around now, I think it's got a feel good factor about it. Some good young players. You say,
definitely,
very good.
That team, we went into that tournament in 1992 with those players as like tournament second favourites.
Yeah.
But going back to what you were saying as well about the thing about us going behind and then doing well, I think that's slightly overall was the feeling of this in this tournament. We could just lose to Italy and that'd be the end of it. But there's a feeling of, oh, we're already behind at the start of the tournament. We've already got a rubbish team, and that and so that almost has made them relax and sort of do reasonably well. I mean, this is all But it's over for England. That's the worry, isn't it? It's just that's it, bubbles burst.
Same old England and all the rest of it. But I think the signs from this tournament, even 10 minutes into the France game, I felt better than I did 10 minutes into that first game against America in 2010. Even when Gerrard scored, I thought this does not look good. But against France, we looked more composed.
How depressing. When Gerrard scored, the whole pub leapt up. Just you going, this does not look good.
I celebrated the goal. I celebrated the goal with almost too much gusto. I go berserk when England score. But in the back of my head, I thought, there is a storm coming. And come it did.
Who knew it was brewing in Robert Green's?
That's just the English fan, isn't it? We're so pessimistic. It's just frightening.
But I'm usually wildly optimistic, like too optimistic. Like I put so much on it. Like I watch Stuart Pearce's penalty against Spain at least 3 times a week. Not just during the tournament.
I still get upset.
At least 3 times.
Bobby Robson, when I see Bobby Robson on the sides give it, and they console him. It still gives a lump to my throat. I mean, I was 17, 18 at that 1990 World Cup, and I remember it like it was yesterday. That's in my.
That look where he kind of that where he's going like that. Robson's he's kind of going.
Yeah,
and
he said as well. He said he never. It wasn't a day that went past. We never thought of that, what he could have done. And that kind of passion has been lost in the England team until now. And I think Hodgson's come in and brought it back again.
Do you think he's similar to Robson in terms of temperament? Roy Hodgson is sort of elder statesman of the game, a calmer man.
Yeah, maybe a bit.
He seems to be sort of, and I may be going too far, but he strikes me as a moral man, Roy Hodgson, that probably doesn't approve of a lot of what goes on in the modern game. He's more of a father figure than perhaps Fabio Capello was. His proximity is different to the players than it was for Steve McLaren. Is he a sort of a natural leader figure that can bring harmony?
Who was the last England manager other than Steve McLaren that we had? Oh, would be...
Sven.
No, I'm sorry, I mean English.
Graham Taylor.
Again.
Terry.
Venables.
Right, yeah.
Venables,
So
we liked him though.
Who, Venables?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Venables, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I asked that question. I was trying to think. I was hoping you'd say what the last one was and then describe Bobby Robson.
Keegan.
I think it was Keegan, yeah.
Was it?
Got beaten in the Germany game, didn't he?
Last game at Wembley, yeah.
So where are we going to watch it tomorrow, though? What have you got planned for tomorrow night?
Well, this is the problem.
Are you open to offers, or?
Well, I am open to offers, absolutely.
Right, okay.
I am.
Don't look at me.
There's only 3 people.
If we get to the semi-final,
It's got to be
if we get to the semi-final, it's my birthday. So you can all come for a
Oh,
barbecue.
yeah.
Let's cancel the game then.
Come round my presents.
That's all it is.
That's my, you can all, but
There's always an angle with
yeah,
a
you can always come round, and obviously just round the corner from Sutton United football grounds. You're always very welcome to come round.
It's got to be the pub. It's got to be the pub for me at the weekend. Every England game I have to watch in the pub. It has to be the closest to the match atmosphere. I want rowdy, no trouble. No booing and no, chucking anything unless it's plastic glasses and then it's fine. But I want a bit of beer spill. I want to be grabbed by a fat stranger and I want to have the and all that sort of stuff.
The best example I've ever had of that in a pub was in the Argentina-England game in '98. Yeah. We were all standing up in the pub and it was packed. and just it was so, from the moment that match started, something was happening, wasn't it? It was a fantastic game. That was.
Oh,
And we went 1-0 down that game as well. Did we go 1-0 down? I
had 500 quid on Argentina to win on penalties, and I had 500 quid on England to win on penalties. So that as soon as it got to penalties, everyone's going, no, I'm like that. Did not give a fuck. People going, we're on. I'm like, way.
Whereabouts are you going to watch it on Sunday?
I've got my little one. My daughter's performing at Her Majesty's Theatre, so
wow.
But I can't go because I've got something on Sunday night. But so I'm going to take my son. He's 15. It'll be his first jaunt into a pub, and I'll put the name and address of where we live in his pocket. Right, son. Make sure we get home, the old chestnut, and I'll take him to the pub.
Pub
about 11 in the morning.
What for the
Italian
game?
Tomorrow,
I think I'm going to go and watch it in a pub in Croydon actually.
Okay.
With a mate of mine who I used to work with. I used to work in an office in Croydon yesteryear.
Well, that's not too far from me. We could.
I thought you were watching it up in. Of course, you're service.
I'm not sure whether to watch it or go into town because I watched it at O'Neill's in Wardles, like right in the centre of town.
Oh, how was that?
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Absolutely rammed full of people, all good-natured people. There was no funny business. And it was people up and down and glasses everywhere.
Can't wait now.
Incredible. That's what you want, isn't it?
This is a mixture of your relationship with England and your relationship with beer is coming out.
But when Rooney scores, you don't want people to just go. You want to
no.
Oh my God! You want people jumping over you, fat blokes, bald blokes,
we all
sweaty
went to.
blokes.
This is give you an example.
I was all of them, mate. I was fat, bald, and sweaty. He was looking at me going, fat, bald, sweaty.
It was the three of us, one by one, wasn't it?
I'm so excited.
You know the thing where Lampard is like this far over the line in the last World Cup. I was watching that at my cousin's house, and this is an example of how, although my brother supports Chelsea, somehow it shows that England's not totally in his heart as a football team. Because when that went over the line, I stood up amongst all my genteel cousins. I was going bananas, like I'm sure the whole country was. Yeah. But not in that room. And my brother went, Tim, please. I was like, what? Really? Yeah, he went, Tim. All right, come on.
Some decorum. Pass the vol au vent.
So I'm hoping that I'm glad we're all going. Funny enough, we're all going to the cousins again on tomorrow. So, but the game, the Germany game last time was during the afternoon. This is in the evening, so we will have all left. I'll be in a pub.
Nigel, what about
much as I love my family.
I'm very boring, mate. I'll be watching at home with my kids. I'm afraid. I've been out to the Ukraine, and obviously I haven't sat and watched any England game with my little lad, and he's been begging me to watch the game with him. So I'll be very boring. But if they get to the semi-finals, then that is the party night, because it's the birthday night, and then we'll be out somewhere. We're doing something for the semi-finals.
And what's the date? Is it Thursday this week? Is it?
It's Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is it? So if we did get in the semis, Thursday, so
Yes, against the Germans.
28th of June.
So therapy session Friday morning.
Yeah.
I'll be ringing the shrink. Book us in for Friday about 10:30. I'll make it 11. I'll have a lay in.
But everyone was saying as well, I heard someone on the radio last night saying about, well, if we do get against the Germans, I'm a bit worried that we're just going to be torn apart like last time. And I think that this whole thing about like last time, if that goal had been given, 2-2 is a totally different game.
Yeah. I mean, we were completely outclassed.
Well, eventually, but that's the way it went.
Arguably so, the Germans have kicked on a lot since then, haven't they? They've got a better side. They were the potential to be very good. They are now.
La.
Well, we've got better. Exactly. But I think the German level. But last night showed with the Greeks, if the Greeks can score 2 goals against them, get at them.
Yeah,
it's a great chance for us.
If Chelsea can beat Barcelona, I don't think
do you not think the Greeks didn't really try last night?
I think they tried. I just think it was so hard for them.
No, I don't think they tried. I think they just so negative from the start. I mean, 5 minutes gone, Germans could have been 5-0 up. The keeper had Teflon gloves on. Sorry, Comey was like pushing there, just nothing stuck.
And they didn't even start with Gomez, who's been phenomenal.
No, or Muller, or another one.
I hope when we get to the semis.
Oh
my God! If we get to the semis, I feel like I've cursed it. Forget it. If we get to the semis, I hope that in towns and city centres they erect big screens so we can go and watch them in our town and market squares. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? To go to Trafalgar Square, watch it on a big screen, right there in the fountains near the Lions.
Doing that. I can't imagine Surbiton.
Big Ben in the background, Nelson looking down on a great England victory over the Germans in Trafalgar Square.
You'll be sitting there at Surbiton. Surbiton have a big screen up, and you're going there. You'll be watching the mixed doubles and Wimbledon. They won't be watching England semi-final. They'll be watching Laura Robson play from Belarus in the second round of the women's singles at Wimbledon.
I want to go somewhere big though. I want to have like 30, 40,000 people. I want
Hyde
it to be like
Park.
a
Why don't you
festival.
get a flight out to Warsaw? It's about 200 quid.
Yeah, exactly.
And
There's
go
quite a lot
watch
in
in
the
the fan
stadium.
zone over there. It's 50,000 people there. That's where you want to go. You'll probably spend 200 quid in the pub in London, and you travel in your cab home.
Yeah, but if I go, it's just a, if we.
It's a long way, isn't it?
It's a
It's a long way
It's
home.
a long way.
It's a long way back, isn't it? You're
Long way for-
oh.
Whenever
Well,
I
that's
like
all
England,
the
that's
chat goes.
ridiculous.
That's what I'm thinking to do.
I mean, if we got to the final, would you try and get tickets? If we got to the semis, would you try and get tickets?
Yeah, well, I think the tickets are not a problem. I think you can probably get tickets.
Yeah,
It's the
no.
flights that are a problem. I mean, looking at the Kiev yesterday, the flight, they had like 24-hour waiting time. You've got to go to Moscow and then wait 18 hours for a flight. There's no direct flights now to Kiev. They're all sold out. But Warsaw now, it's still available. You can still get a flight for about 240 quid. But as soon as that winning goal goes and that final whistle goes, you know it's going to go up to 500.
Well, I actually bought 4 tickets for the 2006 World Cup final, thinking we had a really good chance. And me and my son, who I'll be with tomorrow night, we're actually sitting with French shirts on in the Olympic Stadium in Berlin. Yeah, great game. I was like,
Would you be
come on,
tempted?
let's go.
If we got to the final though of this, would you be tempted to move hell and high water to get there?
What? No, tell me the date of that then.
It's the 1st of July.
Oh, is it?
That's a Sunday.
No,
That's
I
Sunday,
wouldn't.
isn't it?
I'd rather watch it at home on the TV.
But potentially the.
On my own.
You immediately start to think, is this my only chance to
But
see
no,
an animation?
no, I sort of know what Flash means about that, because if we were we to, I was all dreamland now, but if you win the fight, remember when France won the World Cup?
Yeah.
And you saw
In
that
France.
those shots
Yep.
in Paris of everyone with the horns held. You want to be in England when that happens, really, don't you? The
Oh,
place
that's a
will
good
be,
point.
you know, be great atmosphere.
Trafalgar Square in the fountains, Nelson looking down, Big Ben in the background, Jerusalem pumping out.
Oh,
the
there you go.
embassies.
Now you're talking.
I do fancy Brazil.
Glare on
next
top of
World
one of
Cup.
the lines,
Yeah, see,
Gascoigne on top of one of the
That's
others.
the ticket you want. Brazil for next
Yeah,
World
and
Cup over in Brazil.
And my friend's
And
brother
that's
actually lives
where you
in
wanna be.
Brazil and has invited us all over and said,
What, all of
"Come
us?
on,
Yeah, we're coming."
well, the thing is, he's only 6 miles from the Colombian border. So, I mean, he's one of them, do you want to come and stay? And I was like, yeah, well, why not? Might come a month early.
Well,
Just
be
get
careful out there.
climatised.
But then you look at France in. I've never seen it. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to tournaments to watch England.
Well, I went to the Portugal England game in 2006. But
In Germany.
Yeah, I
That's
was
the
in
only
Portugal
one
for
I-
the tournament. I didn't go to the games. Again, it was like I got the atmosphere on the beach and the big screens and things like that. So
Because
it was
watching
great.
them at Wembley is one thing, isn't it? I've been to Wembley a few times to watch England for qualifiers and for friendlies. And the atmosphere there is good, but I imagine the atmosphere when you're watching England away at a major tournament is something completely different.
yeah, it was great. I've only been to one, so
I went to the French game here in the Ukraine, obviously.
Oh,
here.
did you? Of
And
course,
that was an incredible atmosphere. But I also was lucky enough to go to England-Holland in '96.
Wow.
And I went to
God.
England-Spain in '96.
Oh, Psycho's penalty!
Yeah, well, I was there. And you can't beat that atmosphere.
Oh,
That was a penalty
God.
shootout we went to, and you just knew we were going to win that penalty shootout. Spain,
Really?
well, that's a similar. Spain were a team underachievers at the time.
They were, weren't they?
Who
Yeah, yeah.
didn't have much bottle.
That's right.
In the cup, the football fans didn't think so, and that's very similar. I think the Italian team. That's the way I've got in. I think any team you go to penalty shootout at, you think you're going to get beat England, but that not day. We knew we could beat Spain, and I think that will happen today. Joe missed the penalty in that game for Spain. Do you remember that? Rafael
Nadal, that's right,
Rafael,
yeah.
Was it uncle or his father? Missed the penalty in that game.
Missed
is that
Nadal.
right?
Yeah,
I
Rafael.
know
Big
it's
centre
Nadal,
half.
didn't
Yeah,
I?
yeah,
It was,
yeah, he missed
no,
it.
it was his, he was the one who missed it.
Yeah, he missed the important penalty. But it was at that game. But there was nothing. The biggest sporting event I've ever been to. But just the passion, the fans, and the commitment they do out there was just amazing.
4 years' time, it's in France, and there'll be
That's
another
right.
8 teams. So, I mean,
I'll be very excited.
Wales, Ireland.
they'll all be there.
Well, we hope so indeed. We're going to take a quick break. Join us afterwards on the Late Breakfast. Welcome back to the Late Breakfast on Sports Tonight. Tim Vine is still joining us on the sofa with a lovely England shirt. And do you like this New
Thank you.
England kit?
I do actually, yeah.
Have
I
it.
don't,
Just have it.
I like either white or red. I don't like it when we go off those two colours particularly.
What about the blue crest, though? That's always been a feature of the Three Lions, and now
Yeah.
it's all red. I mean,
No, well, basically I don't like it when like the grey thing we wore in Euro 96.
Okay.
Crazy
Also, in terms of the colour of the fabric.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So, and then I'm happy to go with whatever. I'm not a designer. It's not my job to criticise that.
No, it's a nice fabric as well. I mean, this is an Italian 90.
We're running out of things to talk about. It's a nice fabric, isn't it? Your shirt. Isn't it lovely that?
They're sort of softer, aren't they?
It is. I agree. Yeah. Although that might get quite. It might keep the heat. It might get quite hot. That I would have thought when you're running
Apparently
around.
It's the least breathable shirt in the tournament, according to.
So I've accidentally.
The blue one's very popular with the fans, though. The blue one, the new blue.
I've got the blue one. That's
everyone was wearing that on the Ukraine. That was the most popular shirt amongst the England fans. I feel like the fashion guy that gave it Roy Ascot. The blue one's very popular with the England fans. The fabric is very good.
Nice
the heat might not be giving, but the blue one was the most popular one.
Well, it's the one I'm wearing, and it's quite slimming as well.
Is it?
Yeah, we're slightly fitted, and it's dark blue. So it just every time I wear it, people say, "Oh, you've lost weight."
Right. Is that
the old Italian shirt was like that. The Kappa one was skin tight.
Oh yeah.
Because you couldn't fit. I had one of them because you could wear it as an undergarment.
I was looking at that because I was thinking to myself, why have you got the top button done up like that?
Just because that's what Stuart Pearce would do.
Oh, is it? Okay, right.
He would wear it neat and tidy. Why should I not have the top button?
It's a bit restrictive. If you're going to run up the wing, I think that's going to hold you back slightly.
There's any danger for that.
The dazzling winger.
Oh no, there's no. I'll be right back, mate, or in goal these days.
Or in goal.
Probably
goal.
Definitely.
Just behind the goal. Crowd.
This is
Steward.
I was a steward once. Let's not talk about that. I was. Now this is a part of the show called the rumour mill. Now I've found two stories, one of which is true and one of which is false. And I will read them both out, ruminate on them, and then you can each decide whether you think one is true and one is false. Okay?
Right. Well, we already know that. One is true and
one is true and one is false. You're
That's
right,
the
yeah,
game.
you've already won, you're already ahead. You have to decide which one is true and which one is false. Okay? This one is called Viagra. When Bolivian football team Blooming struggled to perform at altitude when playing away in La Paz, the club's physiotherapist Rodrigo Figueroa prescribed Viagra to cure their ills. The physio reasoned that as the sex drug is designed to improve blood flow, it could also help players cope with the difficulties of playing at more than 3,500 metres above sea level. We prescribed it for several players, especially those who suffered most from altitude, Figueroa explained. Viagra is not on the banned substance list and has reportedly been game tested by another of South American clubs during Copa Libertadores matches at high altitude. So, just maybe that's true.
One?
Maybe that's true, maybe that's false. This one is called Jason Dezelle.
False.
He smirked. Absolutely hopeless in this game, I thought.
Well, it's just
You should do.
maybe it's a double
If you ever play
bluff.
this game again, you need to go behind a screen.
Maybe it's a bluff. Maybe it's a bluff. Jason Dezelle was a hungry boy
Oh dear.
and always
Said
enjoyed.
Brer Rabbit. Go on, go.
And always enjoyed the tuna butties his mum would make him, especially for lunch breaks at Ipswich. But Dezelle was hiding a guilty secret. He wasn't eating the butties. Dezelle had a scam going with his local news agents, Boozeback Mountain. In fact, it was more of an offie. And Dezelle had his own car parking space, which was a double-edged sword, as he wasn't allowed to drive back. Dezelle would pass his mum's butties off as ones he's bought from the local shop and moan that they were off, ending up with an extra £3.50 in his pocket every Saturday. Many expected him to retire on the takings, thought to be worth up to £182 a year, but he was stung by a Ponzi scheme masterminded by Cilla Black and ended up with less than £1. He spent that on some butties. It's unknown whether he appreciated the irony. So, guys, which one do you think?
I think I remember something about the Bolivians when they banned the tweeting of the horn from the Viagra.
Right. Okay. I'd go with the Bolivian one because
You laughed at the other one.
because Viagra apparently started off as it was an accident. It was accidental. They discovered it as being a drug to aid performance, wasn't it?
Really?
In the bedroom, yeah. It was originally a drug for, you know, people with heart problems and angina problems and stuff like that. And then these symptoms were coming back.
Wonderful side effects.
People were going, well, hang on a minute.
People's wives going, hang on a minute.
So that sounds real. It certainly sounds more real, but by the way you giggled through the second one.
Yeah, but Dezelle, I mean, look at him there. Look at that. He's punching the air in victory.
He just
Is that
sold
because-
3 peanut butter sandwiches in that picture.
Is that because he's been to Boozeback Mountain all weekend?
Is Boozeback Mountain, is that a joke? Is that supposed to sound like Brokeback Mountain?
Could be a name of a local office.
Someone nicked the bottle. Like, where the fucking bottle's
Either
gone?
that or they're not keen on him and they're trying to give him a couple of hand signals. Look at this geezer down here. I mean,
This one here.
By the way, if you're on this photo, do get
Lee
in touch
Evans.
through Twitter. Do get in touch with us on Twitter at Sports Tonight TV if Jason, if you're watching. Nigel, what do you think? What's your
I've
gut
got to
telling
go with
you?
it. Bolivia, got to be the truth. The way you laugh and give it away, and Cilla Black in a Ponzi scheme. No, that'd be too much of a surprise.
Cilla Black on Viagra.
I'm all over number one as the truth.
You're all right. Jason Dizelle,
Really?
as far as we're aware, never tried to take back his mum's butties and pass them off as his own at an offie called Boozback Mountain. Any part of that story could have been false. Every single part of it was.
Jason Dizelle's not his real name.
Oh,
Could have been.
Did you ever play with Dizelle?
No, I've been out with him a couple of times, but I never played. I played against him a few times.
Okay.
Yeah, good lad. Yeah.
What's
nice
he up to
lad.
these days?
I don't know now. I think he was coaching for one of the, I don't know if it was Ipswich or one of his old sides.
of
He had
his
something
old
to do
clubs, yeah.
in the community and things like that.
Oh, excellent.
But yeah, he was a good player.
Now, another game we have to play is something that I've seen you do before, Tim, and it's inspirational.
Right.
Tim Vine has a real talent for giving team talks.
Yeah, well, we've done this socially. Whether or not this will work. Yeah.
We've done this in the pub and it was quite funny, wasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of things are funny in the pub, aren't they?
Well, we're about to find out. But basically, what happens is we give Tim a fictional situation. So it's half time in a game. He's the manager of the team.
Maybe you have 30-second team talk.
Okay, 30-second team
and you
talk,
say
okay.
when the team talk has elapsed.
Okay, that's right. Okay, I shall now.
And you give me a subject that I've got to incorporate into the team talk before inspiring the England team to go out and play Italy.
Okay, so what? Something unrelated to the sport.
Totally unrelated.
Okay, do you want to pick something there, nice? Something totally unrelated to sport.
I'll go for Jason Dizelle's peanut butter sandwiches.
Okay,
Peanut butter sandwiches.
So you've
Right.
got to include something about peanut butter sandwiches.
Right.
And your half time,
Right.
and it's this weekend. It's England versus Italy.
What's the score?
England are 3-0 down,
Right.
and
Okay.
Rooney has been sent off.
Gets worse.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Do you need a couple of seconds just to...
No, just start. But tell me when it's time's up. In fact,
Okay.
if you wave at me at 28 seconds, and I'll sew it up.
Amazing.
Right.
Right, are you ready?
It's not amazing. Trust me, it's not amazing.
It is. Right, here we go. Tim Vine, you have 30 seconds, starting now.
Right, come in everyone, close the door behind you. Now listen to me, everybody has dreams. Elvis Presley used to eat peanut butter and Jell-O sandwiches. He loved those things, but they killed him. We need to get out there and we need to take a dream that's not going to kill us, but it's going to kill them. We need to smother them, be like Contagion, be like measles, be all over them. Be quicker to the pass, be quicker to the tackle, be quicker to the cross. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are not the answer here. We need to get this team and we need to flatten them. Get out there, win it. England, 3 goals in the first 5 minutes, get the winner at the end.
Amazing! Come on, England! Yes, finally!
That had nothing to do with peanut butter. And jelly.
It didn't matter, it was
Couldn't think of
amazing.
anything to do with peanut butter.
You got in there, mate. That was phenomenal. I could
I'd
feel.
love to do that though. I'd love to, but you've done that though, haven't you? You've managed a 5-a-side team.
Yeah, for one game.
I thought it was a season. You said you sort of.
I did it for one game. They wanted me to be more involved, but my diary was too busy. But I
guys-
managed them for one game. They hadn't won a single game, and they got in touch and said, because I wanted to be a manager, can you manage us for one game? And they won it. Yeah. It was incredible, and I've never.
Just stop there.
Yeah. Just one game undefeated.
Do you guys do?
I manage a
coaching
kids'
something?
football team. I manage a team local AFC York, which is in the Epsom area.
You do not.
I do, yeah.
AFC York.
Amazing.
You think you existed?
Exactly. Well, I'm
fantastic.
Well, you bring you down at half time, we might get us out of trouble.
Oh.
We didn't win a game. But I do the little ones. It's about the little under 8s. And you just got to be so careful.
I bet you.
I just start going, I don't
Kicking
believe
stuff.
this. I don't. And then you realise they're 7, and then 6, and they come up to you. And then, like, the dad's always watching you. And he's, like, absolutely massive. So
Okay, so
you've got to curb it down a bit.
So what sort of stuff
What
would you
sort
say?
of things
So
you say
let's pretend that the three of us are.
Well, you're 8-0 down
Cherubic
against the
7.
team. Well, we played the other team the other week. When we got there, Scott Parker's boy was in the team. Jamie Redknapp's boy was in the team.
my
And
word.
Stephen Sidwell obviously plays for Fulham's in the team. And we got
Steve, I thought you were going to say Stephen Sidwell in the team.
our boy's got Tom the plumber's son, the grocer, green grocer's down the road. And you know you're beat before you get there. And all they're doing, and we're 8-0 down at half time. And I just sort of say, listen, like, you know,
Okay.
we're 6.
Okay, let's pretend we're 6.
Okay, listen, just get the ball, pass it around. Don't worry about it. Enjoy yourself. You know, just pass the ball. Don't worry about it. But if you take a chance, shoot. Don't take too many shots. Just have a shot at the goal. Make it. And the goalkeeper, listen, you're a man of the match. we're losing 8-0, but you are the man of the match. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And you're trying to motivate them all the time. But then they get older and older and older, and it gets more competitive. When it gets to 10, 11, then it's too much. And I like looking after the real little ones and trying to coach them on to better players.
Do you that age group? Everyone always talks about that age group as being where it's. Well, people talk about things being coached out of kids and stuff. Do you tell them don't pass, have a go and take people on or something?
No. I mean, you play small pitches, people, but nobody wants to play in goal. This is the whole thing. They all want to play. So goalkeeping is the most key area. So every year, whoever wins the Player of the Year, I always give it the goalkeeper.
Right.
Well done, goalkeeper.
I coached 7 years.
They can always
the juniors and that from under 8s when they were absolutely garbage, and I'm really competitive anyway. It's just built in. So I got all the parents together and said, look, I'm going to do this my way. Obviously, I'd have been up for abuse every single week, but the parents were never going to come and say to me, I think you're doing it wrong, because they could just do one. So anyway, we had early days. Well, the bottom line is they went 2.5 years unbeaten at the end. And 2 of my boys have now gone and got apprenticeships at Bournemouth last year.
Excellent.
And 8 of them are now with a semi-pro side to take them from 16 to 18. But early on, I had to really get into them and give them mental strength from the age of 12 to 15, because they start going through puberty, they start thinking of the cock of the north, and I just couldn't have that. And the way that I spoke to them like men, they wanted to act like men on the streets when they were with their mates, giving it la and all that. So I actually got them down and said, listen, you're going to either end up working in Burger King, or you're going to have a chance, you know, and they towed the line in the end.
So the line all went to Burger King.
Exactly, yeah.
my lot turn up in match attacks and Moshi monsters. It's very hard to teach them like men, you know what I mean? But the thing is with them, I'm just a dad. I'm just a dad who's taken it and said, I can do it. But when he gets to under 9 and under 10, it's so competitive. And they got kids at 6 doing these training exercises that you're just too much, I think. So I've got there's another young lad who comes in and does all their training stuff.
But does anyone, when you think of the way Gaza used to play, it was you just don't get anyone who come through who's English who plays like that. Why is that? I mean,
freedom, I mean, encouragement. But I had one kid that was he was my captain. Because I coached them first, then I became their manager at under 9, under 10. So I kept him there, and they got to under 13, and he couldn't run. He had really good ability, scored goals for fun, passed the ball for England, but he couldn't run. He had no aggression. So when I did the training at the end of the season, I ran him. I really ran him to get his fitness up. And at the end of it, I just said to him, you're finished. You are no good for me. I'm going to get rid of you, and I'm going to bring someone else in, because I'm not going to have any... Yeah, because I didn't want no weak links. And then when I got home, he said, Dad, I can't believe you've got rid of me. You know what I mean? This is a God's honest truth. He cried in the bath. But he's a ruthless. But the thing is, I couldn't...
And no running water.
He cried so much, didn't bother putting any water in. He sat in there, it gradually filled up around.
Well, the funny thing, I got the kettle and started just putting it in. But no, it was a case of he had to realise that he didn't have what it takes to be a proper footballer. Technically he had everything, mentally he had everything, but he had no aggression, he had no pace.
Psychologically.
And he was a golfer. Wow. He is a golfer,
yeah, but
he tried to play football like golf.
But going back to what I was saying about Gaza, just that thing of taking players on, why doesn't anyone do that anymore? Why don't I actually think that passing should be banned until you're 16. Up until then, there should be no passing. You should only be trying to take people on.
But the thing is nowadays, it's about physical conditioning, even at a young age. I mean, there's kids at 6 or 7 or 8 who haven't got natural ability, but are 3 times the size and kick a ball a lot further than little guys. Right. And years ago, they were the guys who could progress to 15, 16, 17 years of age. And when they got to 17, they were released because they didn't have anything else apart from their strength. But nowadays, it's much more about those skillful little guys. I mean, I've got a kid in my team who's 6, who's tiny. He's got natural ability, but he's got more natural ability and vision than anybody else, but he can't kick a ball as strong as other guy. But he will be in 10 years' time the best player on the team. At the moment,
we'll come back to this after the break. We're going to have to take a quick break, folks, but join us after it, right here on The Late Breakfast. Welcome back to The Late Breakfast, still joined by the comedian and England fan, Tim Vine. Welcome back, mate.
I'm still here.
Still here, thanks for staying.
No, well,
very polite.
That's the least I could do. Very comfortable sofa.
Now, in terms of pre-match preparations as a fan,
yes.
Do you have any sort of rituals? Do you have a lucky shirt?
I only have 2 shirts, and I have one which is from 2006 and one from '98. Okay. So I sort of rotate those.
So 2006 has the sort of red St George's on the.
Yeah, it's red.
Oh, it's the red one from.
Yeah, it has a single gold star on it. Which, when was that introduced? Because that's the 1990 thing, and that obviously doesn't have that.
That doesn't have it, no. I think the gold star first came in Euro 2004.
Really?
Right.
It did, yeah, when they had the sort of St George's cross back. So the red stripe across the back, and then the gold star was initially on the sleeve, on the left-hand sleeve.
Right.
And then they moved it to above the... I'm not sure if you have to wait a certain amount of years until you can put a star on, but Nottingham Forest have only recently started putting 2 silver stars for our European Cups tonight.
Not all about Forest.
No, I know, but it's just, it's a debate about the stars with a star, and I thought it would make sense to sort of give that flavour.
Can you get stars for Simod Cups and full members' cups?
Simod Cup, what a shout! 1989 beat Everton 4-3, I believe, at Wembley. Of course,
Gary Parker. I think Gary Parker scored.
That goal was incredible. Box to box, slides it past Southall. Wonderful performance, which of course we all remember.
Yeah.
We went to Wembley twice that year and won silverware. The Littlewoods Cup as well, beating Luton Town 3-1. In fact, when you remember, I can still remember bits of commentary from games from years ago. I can still remember, and I don't know who it was who said it, Ashley Grimes hasn't scored at all this season, but that was so close. that was from it was a Luton Town, yeah.
Luton Arsenal.
Luton Forest.
1989 was Forest.
Luton Forest, yeah, 3-1.
I had briefly worked as a steward at Wembley when I was about 18, and I was at the Luton Arsenal game where I think Arsenal were. It was the League Cup final.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, Arsenal were 2-1 up, and they had a penalty, and Martin Hayes missed the penalty. He's so lazy, Martin Hayesy. La la la.
What year was that? Was that the 30s?
26, yeah. Charles.
Campus.
Anyway, they lost the game. They lost the game. So they missed a penalty and they lost it 3-2.
I thought that might have been from your mate's songs, the Arsenal fan.
It was. Being a steward is quite something to admit. I was a steward for a while at Notts County when I was a student. So if I wasn't going to watch Forest away, I'd go down to the county. It was quite a good day rate. No one was there, so there was nothing to happen apart from a couple of notable exceptions. But as football fans, I think we all have dirty secrets. I only found out recently that a mate of mine, Sam, who's a Forest fan, had gone to a Derby game as a kid and supported them because he went with his mum's mate's kid. So it's like his dirty secret. So do we have any dirty secrets? I wouldn't say it was a dirty secret, but I was... during Euro 2004, this pub in Nottingham, I'd long started doing comedy, this pub in Nottingham that said, can you come host the night for us and can I do a few football impressions? Can you do a few impressions, play some... And I was like, I've got all the England songs anyway, because I always buy Vindaloo and Three Lions and New Order and all that. So I was like, I'll play the songs whenever there's a goal, do a few impressions and whatnot. And it was the England-France game. And I don't know what CD, and I still don't know, and I'm sure I was sabotaged, but instead of playing Vindaloo when we scored, it was Sacrificed by us. People went absolutely berserk. Thought I was trying to be funny. I don't know how to stop it. Let's do all these buttons. I'm sure to this day someone had I'm sure I was sabotaged by the bar manager. Convinced. Like a whole pub going by me. Just a simple word.
There's a funny, when we went to the Ukraine, we were the first people out there on the Monday, and everyone was looking for England fans. And I met these 2 guys from Sheffield. They were very sort of well-to-do-ish England fans, university graduates out there. And the BBC Radio 5 come up to us, or Radio 1, so they said, listen, can we have a couple of words with some England fans? And they went, yeah, sure, no problem. I asked them about the problem and said, right, at the end of the song, can you all sing an England chant? And they went, yeah, these 2 guys, yeah, sure. So I went, okay, 3, 2, 1. They went, we're on the ball. We're on the ball. And they went, no. When you go, England, they started singing, we're on the ball, which I thought was actually one of the highlights of the trip.
I thought you were going to start singing 10 German bombers or something.
No.
I went to the England-Belgium game at Wembley just before the tournament started, and there was just the whole tube singing that, and you think, well, it's nice that people are singing and excited, but I'm not sure it's the right tone in 2012 to be singing.
I'll tell you what, I was at that game as well, but you there, Tim, as well. I mean, that Belgian side are a good team.
Yeah,
Give it another 4 years, I think they'll be a major threat on this competition. I mean, Dembele and all those, they were brilliant. And their fans were pretty cheery in that match. I mean, they were
brilliant.
Great atmosphere.
Tim, do you have any sort of dirty football secrets?
Well, I was trying to think when you were saying that. Along the lines of another match that I was a steward at Wembley for, I only did about 4, but was the Wimbledon-Liverpool.
1988 FA Cup final?
88, and I was up the Liverpool end. I mean, to be honest, it was only a small section that you could sort of see in the distance up the other end this group of Wimbledon fans going bananas. And it was all standing then. And I was just with all these kind of scousers, just moaning. It was hilarious, but but I sort of wanted Wimbledon to win, but I absolutely was not giving that away where I was stood. So that's kind of a dirty secret that I was up with the Liverpool supporters when I should have been supporting Wimbledon. But that's not really, is it? That doesn't really tie in with what you...
Well, no, but it was an awkward situation. I mean,
all right, I killed a man.
Nigel, have you got any secrets in your footballing past?
Nah, not really. I mean, I remember going to a game many years ago when there was a bit of trouble, and I remember walking down the King's Road at a Chelsea QPR game, and a load of QPR fans come down, and I was in the QPR end, and a load of Chelsea guys come at them, and there was a guy with his son. And the only thing I did, just thought, I'm going to get beaten up here. I just grabbed the kid, and when he's with me, he's with me to sort of prevent myself from getting any trouble. And his dad looked at me and said, "Oh, we're all together, like." That's the only thing I can really remember. That
I thought you were going to say
did
you battered the kid.
No,
there was a big scrap. I spotted a small one.
I made out I was really bad. That was the only sort of thing I can remember bad.
You used a boy as a human shield.
Yeah, well, I thought I just
Brave
didn't know what
Sir
to do.
Robin.
I didn't know what to do, but I thought, I didn't want to get my head kicked in, so I thought I just might as well do something like that. But that was the only thing I would do.
It worked.
Yeah, his dad was in intensive care for 2 days, but no, I'm joking.
What a joke. Flash.
No.
Flash, you must have so many. You played the game.
Secrets? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what really comes under the word secret, really.
Okay,
I'm really
events.
Events?
Embarrassing events in your footballing past.
Ugh.
Either as a player or as a fan.
Apart from when I was playing, you mean? Yeah, I mean, no, there's just
an unblemished record.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, there's obviously a couple. I mean, I played against Everton, I think, on Boxing Day one year for Sheffield Wednesday, and I didn't play as it goes. I wasn't even on the bench. So I said I'm going to go and sit up in the stand now, and jogged on across Stanley Park, got in the car, drove home, and the manager said to me, "Someone's reported you going across Stanley Park," and I'm like, "Yeah, I had my wash bag in the car," like, and there was like, I had a sponsored car. They sent me a speeding ticket to Hillsborough and 3:48 going across the M6 or something.
Rumbled.
2 weeks' wages, but that was just one of many. I was seen out in a nightclub on a Friday night because I wasn't in the squad. And got the phone call Saturday morning saying that someone's gone down ill. Can you come in? I couldn't do it. Well, I did do it, but I couldn't do it. I was absolutely battered.
You played hungover?
Well, yeah, I was sub and came on. Yeah.
And
No, I didn't even have a clue what was going on. You know when you properly got glazed
obvious?
eyes? Oh, it was, yeah, he might as well have rung me while I was in the club. I've been home about an hour, do you know what I mean?
Incredible.
There was loads of them. I mean, even when Laurie McMenemy rung up to say to me, do you want to come to Southampton? I was actually in the club and my friend rung me and said, I just had Laurie McMenemy on the phone. You better get back. And I told him to ring back in 1/4 hour.
Oh, my word. See, plenty of stories. We're going to take a quick break. Join us afterwards right here on The Late Breakfast. Welcome back to the final section of The Late Breakfast. It's flown by, gentlemen.
It has, hasn't it?
What an emotional journey we've been on this morning, getting all excited about the England game, being accused of, well, not being quite xenophobic, but accused of being a negative nation when it came to our attitudes towards the Italians, and Tim Vine's wonderful team talk that we had about half an hour ago that's still inspiring millions at home. Now, Nigel, you're a betting expert. What are the odds for this weekend and for the rest of the tournament?
I mean, England, it's quite against England's game as well. Bookmakers really can't split them. It's 15-8 England, about 15-8 Italians, around about 2-1 the draw. I mean, I think the draw's a big value because I think it's going to be a long, long game. I think we're going to extra time penalties. I think we're bringing for a long afternoon. I think the pub could be coming to closing time. We're in there watching the penalty shoot and hopefully England scoring the winner. But the bookies can't really split them. But I reckon on kick-off time, I think the sentimental money will come in for England and England will just shade it, go favourites.
And what about the outright winner?
Well, the outright, I mean, last night, they were just going to last night's game, Spain and Germany, you couldn't really split the two, but Germany have now gone clear favourites. I mean, their performance last night, not necessarily was brilliant, letting 2 goals, but the fact they could rest their best 3 players and bring in 3 other guys in the squad shows you what a complete squad they have.
Now, are these international odds or are these
These are odds from Paddy Power, so really they're quite an unbiased view because they're obviously an Irish firm, and they're not going to have the Irish have gone out, so they're going to take a view. They're actually gone the best price England to win the competition and to win their match.
And what is the get why Italy are 10-1? I mean, that first game against Just played Spain first, didn't they?
Yeah.
Everyone was saying these two teams are fantastic. Why are they?
Well, what you've got to work out, Tim, is England play Italy in one game. It's probably even money who goes through, so it's even money.
Oh.
Then they play Germany, and they'll probably be around about a 2-1 shot to beat Germany. Then in the final, they're likely to probably play the Spanish, and they'll probably be about a 6-4 shot. Yeah. So if you work out the treble, it's probably around about 10-1.
I mean, if Spain win tonight, Germany will probably go back to being 2-1. It's just that Spain haven't actually qualified for the semi-final yet because they play France tonight.
I've backed Portugal along at 22-1. Okay. 20-1. I think 11-2. I still think that. I think with Ronaldo, I think they're one player who can single-handedly win the competition for them.
Let's have a look at the Golden Boot and the odds for that.
Well, I mean, I'm quite surprised at these. I've said last night I thought Ronaldo would go favourite because Gomez is now obviously his place. He's not he scored 3 goals, but he's not certain.
You know, we knowing what goals they got so far, though, couldn't we?
Well, Gomez has got 3, Ronaldo's got 3, Torres has got 2, Fabregas has got 1, Rooney's got 1, and the other 2 have got 3, and Klose has got 1. So, but I think Ronaldo 2-1. I think he's going to play every minute of every game. I think 2-1 he should be favourite. I don't agree with them being joint favourite. I think Ronaldo will be clear favourite. I think Rooney's got a chance tonight if he can get a goal tomorrow. Going in with 2, I think you've got a chance. 4 goals will win it. So, Ronaldo's on the 3. I think Ronaldo's got to be the better 2-1.
And for player of the tournament, let's have a look at the odds for those.
I mean, Ronaldo's has come from nowhere in the last 2 games. I think Ozil's too short. Well, apart from last night, he played all right in snatches, but I don't think he's been brilliant.
I can't believe that the value at 22-1 for Gerrard to lead his side single-handedly to the Championship on the 1st of July, because that's when we'll win it.
This is a better bet. If you think England are going to win the whole thing, and we want to back them at 9-1 or 10-1, forget that. Back Gerrard at 22-1, because if we do win it, Gerrard will be the player of the tournament.
The difference with this one, of course, is that the player of the tournament will be decided by a group of people, whereas top goal scorer and whoever wins are definite. I mean, they're factual, aren't they? Whereas this is a matter of
this will be done by journalists of the competition, and usually whatever the gamble is, about 5 hours before the tournament, just back them. Someone somewhere knows, and then there's smoke goes out of UEFA's building or FIFA's building until the decision's been made. And then the money comes in.
As long as Sepp Blatter.
I mean, I think Iniesta's been awesome at 7-1. I think Schweinsteiger's been brilliant at 9-1. But you look at it, whoever wins the competition, usually the best player of the tournament comes from that team. Yeah. So realistically, if you fancy one of these players to do it, you're probably better off for the player to win it rather than the actual team itself.
Now, when we're talking about odds on teams and all the rest of it, will the odds vary from nation to nation? People in different countries are more likely to back their home nation, are they? So would it be possible to get better odds on England, say, by betting with someone in Poland?
It used to be the case about 4 or 5 years ago now, but betting is, most people bet on betting exchanges with Betfair and stuff like that. So that is a guide price that people can see. I don't think that the prices will be any different, but I think liabilities will be different. I mean, if you're an English bookmaker, England win the tournament, you're going to lose more money. If you're a Spanish bookmaker, Spanish win the tournament, you're going to lose more money. But the prices will be pretty similar. But I think your liabilities on how much money you're going to win or lose will change from country to country.
And then on working the odds out, is it a sort of mixture of their experts genuinely believing who could win and a mixture of where the hot money's coming from?
No, I think when you get to the knockout stages, the path is already worked out. It's a very simple mathematical equation. I mean, the probability of winning A, B, or C is the price. At the group stages, it's slightly different. Your first set of prices got to be different. And what you might be in the first game might necessarily what you be in the last game on the group matches. What you see in the first 2 games have a big influence. It's more so in other sports. I mean, tennis, for example, is my sport. I do a lot of tennis stuff. And you might have a rebase of the player as he progresses through the tournament. I mean, Roger Federer played one guy in the first round, he might be a lot shorter price. But if that guy's got through to the last 16, he's beaten Nadal, Djokovic, and got there, then you have a rebase. And the idea of betting is basically what your opinion at the beginning might not necessarily be the opinion throughout the tournament. You've got to keep your eye on what public perception is going to be and what your liabilities and money show.
What's this thing when you can sell your bet back? What is that? I don't quite understand
It's like a stock share. So for example, if you back... say you back 2-1 England to beat Italy tomorrow, and you have 100 quid at 2-1. Right. You're risking £100 if they lose, and you're winning £200 if they win. If England go 1-0 up, their odds become even money probably. Say even money. Then what you do is you sell your bet back at even for your original £100. So your risk is 0, but your profit is limited by 50%. So it's £100. You risk nothing because you've backed one end, and you've done the opposite on the other side. And you guarantee £100.
Lost him completely.
I'm using all my acting skills here. Right.
Are you much of a betting man, Tim?
Well, clearly.
Do you
not massively, no. I sort of tend to the Grand National, but this is slightly inspiring me to put something on. I'd quite like to back England, actually. Why not?
But then part of me thinks I'll get enough pleasure if England win anyway. The last thing I need is more misery if we lose.
Do you know what? I was so well.
Confused.
No, I was deluded. I was going to say at the last World Cup that I actually said to people, I reckon. How about this for an accumulator? England win the World Cup and the European Championship.
Oh my word!
Like France, you win one, you're going to win the next one, aren't you?
If you don't win,
like Spain, you win them in pairs, don't you?
It's quite funny when it comes to the betting on England games. They're usually the quietest betting level matches. The most interesting, yeah, because basically people just can't bear to lose their money and England get beat.
Yeah.
It's, really, you know, it's like, you know, you would expect England games. Oh, they're going to be millions bet. Usually they're one of the quietest games of the competition, especially in knockout stages.
I would never.
Because it's your emotions at stake mainly.
Spain, France tonight will have more money bet on it than England Italy tomorrow.
Is that right?
By English fans.
Yeah, as an English nation, because people just, if we played someone like a lesser nation, if we played, you know, Poland,
with all respect to Poland,
or like a lesser nation in the world scale, there'll be huge money bet on it. But when we play the tough games and the knockout stages, people just cannot bear to lose their 10, 20 pound and have England going out of the competition as well. It's a double whammy for them.
Now, England, of course, play Italy on Sunday. What are your predictions, fellas? Flash, how do you think England will do?
I think we'll win.
Do you have a scoreline prediction?
Yeah, I'd go for 2-1 or 3-1.
2-1 or 3-1 to England. And do you have any sort of notion of England going behind or leading at half time?
No, I expect us to go 1-0 up, 1-1.
Okay.
Like, here we go again. And then Walcott will probably come on and do a little bit. I hope Andy Carroll scores the second and Gerrard the third.
Oh, that'd be great. Just hearing 3-1 it just makes me tingle with excitement.
What about you, Viney? What do you reckon?
You're going to lose it. No, we're going to. I think actually, I'm going to say 3-2. I think it's going to be slightly similar in the way the goals went in Sweden, again the Sweden game.
3-2 to England, yeah?
Yeah.
And any prediction on scorers?
Yeah, very much so. I think that I think Rooney's going to get 2. Actually, I actually think that him getting that goal was really significant because there's something about the spirit in that camp, and I think that he's buying it. I actually think some of the pressure has come off Rooney as well. He's no longer this young, massive hope we've got. He's actually seen genuinely that his place is not undroppable into up front. There's other people who can score goals up front. You know, Welbeck and Carroll have shown they can. So he's now looking like, oh, actually, perhaps I've got to prove something here. So I'm going to go 2 goals scored by Rooney, and then I think, hopefully Walcott will score one.
And Nigel, quickly, your prediction.
I honestly think we're in for a long night. I think it'll be the first 0-0 of the competition, and I think we'll nick it on penalties this time.
Excellent. I think we'll win 2-1 in normal time. Tim, to close the show, do you have any football jokes?
This bloke said to me, in fact I said to this bloke, I said, can you tell me your availability to run a football team in Sheffield? He said, I can't manage Wednesday.
There you go, Tim Vine, the man, the legend.
We'll put the laughs on later.
This morning on The Late Breakfast. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, next weekend we'll be in a situation where England will be in the final because they'll be You're absolutely incredible. I can't. The moment it's impossible to talk about it without getting delirious. But I hope you've enjoyed the show at home. We'll be back next week when, fingers crossed, England will have at least been in the semis. Thank you very much for joining us here on Late Breakfast on Sports Tonight.
Stay ahead of the game with Sports Tonight Live. Don't miss a thing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Search for Sports Tonight Live on Facebook and like our fan page. Follow Sports Tonight TV on Twitter and tweet us your thoughts and opinions. Sports Tonight Live, it's the platform for the fans.